To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping you along the way. Helping you to make it through another day. Yeah, yeah. Everything you need to know that you never knew, that you need to know. Look on perspective.
Well, hello and welcome. It's just a standard chat that my brother and I are having. I had a little technical difficulty there. You didn't see my face, but I see you. Nonetheless, my brother and I, Ronnie, are just having one of our standard old-fashioned conversations, and we thought that it'd be great just to record where we are and what's going on. The day right now is October the 26th, 2021, and yeah, it's about time. What's going on there, Ronnie Mann?
I'm hanging out. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay. Yeah, I'm hanging out with the Lockhart perspective. That is always a good thing because
Man, I
we're
don't
going to
know
get.
about you, but are you into that theme song, that funky music, man?
I don't know whoever did that.
Hey,
They,
I'm pretty sure
they,
it was Ronnie Mann.
they did a
Hey, you
number.
just, he did a number on that one, lady. I tell you, this is dynamic. Where can I buy it?
Well,
Anyway,
every
so
every
yeah,
time I'm with the Lockhart perspective, we try to go deep into this word, and you know, in order to really go deep into the word, you have to go into the surrounding culture. You have to go into the surrounding historical aspect, sometimes archaeological aspect. I mean,
yeah,
you have to find the historical value of whatever piece that you're that or passage that we're looking at, and
hmm
that is important to get the context
absolutely.
of a said situation. So um in saying that, yeah, we always strive to take it that much more deep, to get to the bottom of this, to get to the
Yeah,
truth of the
but I'm
matter.
glad you said it like that because to me, that's, and I think that's the reason why we mesh the way we do because even though you're like totally on a different planet, my mindset is the same as it relates to studying something. And I think the real people who like to really study, they have to agree with us. If you don't understand, when something was said and what was going on around them and what context it was said in, and was it an idiom? Is it something that they used to say all the time? Where did this instance come from? Knowing the culture and knowing the setting and knowing all that information is key. It's vital to believing what you believe. So, what you got on the menu today, Ronnie Man?
I was just looking at a couple of things, and I wanted to highlight some parallels and similarities to certain storylines from the even New Testament narrative, um, juxtaposed to the historical narrative of certain individuals, and line them up. Um, Not going into super depth of the thing, but
Uh huh.
bringing it to the forefront so we can start to begin to have a certain type of conversation.
Oh, so we're gonna begin the begin.
We're going to begin the beginnings of a conversation,
Okay.
um because it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting, some of these things that we know. Like, okay, for example, I know something's in my left hand, and then I know something's in my right hand, but I
Mm-hmm.
never look at the similarities of the two to relate them to each other. I just know one thing's over here and one thing's over there, and then that's all. That's as far as my mind
Takes it.
connects though, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
connects these things. But if you look at the similarities, then you begin to wonder, well, why is that here, and why is that there, and how do they relate?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I want to get into. So
You have some scripture texts you want me text you would like me to pull up? Anything, any scripture, or you just want to chat?
yeah, let's just have a conversation. So
Let's just have it.
um so we know who Constantine is, right?
Oh yes, you know what I feel about Constantine.
Okay, so let's just talk about Constantine just briefly, and I'm talking about superficially briefly. um he is the one. Okay, well, can I share?
Why not?
All right,
Yeah,
let me
it
share.
should ask me,
i'm
and
gonna
then
i'm
I'll
gonna
let
do a
you.
share. I'm gonna click on
Okay.
share on my end, and it
Okay.
says share screen, and then I guess I say yes to myself. Yes.
Okay.
And
Let's
then I
see.
do a Chrome tab. Boom. Let's see.
Okay. Now
Can
let
you
me
see
see.
this?
Oh. Okay. I see it. All right. Hold
You
on. All
can?
right. Yeah. There you go.
Oh, that's so crazy.
Isn't that
I
outstanding?
just shared something.
You shared it.
All
You
right,
hit the
so
first.
that okay, so
Oh, look at the
th-
date.
this is constant. So it happened on October 28th.
Okay, I'm gonna sit back and chill with this. I ain't got much to do. Let me go ahead. I got my ink pen and stuff ready.
All right, so just peep game.
Okay. Okay.
So Constantine, what happened on October 28th? It says one of the most significant battles in world history took place on this day, 28th of October, in the year 312, after Constantine had a vision. His father, Constantius, forgive me, Constantius
It's a good thing
had
you
been
saying it.
had been co-emperor of the Western Roman Empire. Upon his death, his troops proclaimed 32-year-old Constantine emperor. However, the other co-emperor, Maxentius, was determined to hold Italy and Africa for himself. In order to claim the empire, Constantine would have to defeat Maxentius. And, we know what ensued. Um,
Maxentius. What
so the
ensued?
the battle ensued that solidified Constantine's reign as
Mm-hmm.
sole emperor of the
Okay.
Roman Empire.
Okay.
Um, so let me see here. Church historian Eusebius recorded Constantine's account of the vision. Eusebius admitted that it would be hard to believe if Constantine had not sworn to its truth with an oath. So Constantine, can you see this?
Yep.
Constantine was praying to his father's pagan god, beseeching him to tell him who he was and imploring him to stretch out his right hand to help him in the present difficulties. While he was fervently praying, an incredible sign appeared to him from heaven. He said that about noon, when the day was already beginning to decline, he saw with his own eyes the trophy of a cross of light in the heavens above the sun, and an inscription that said "Conquer by this" attached to it. Seeing this, he and his army, which such and such and such and such witnessed the miracle, were struck with amazement. So we all know this story. He saw a vision of a cross in the sky, and he declared that by that sign they
Mm-hmm.
would move forward and they would conquer, and that would be their conquering sign, their emblem, if you will,
Mm. Mm.
um, which is a cross
Wait a minute. So he prayed to his father
to his
and
father's
to his
God,
father's God, and his father's God, according to
revealed a
Constantine,
cross
revealed a cross. And
in the
but he
heavens.
okay in the heavens. But the deal was at the very beginning. I think it started with his pagan. Okay, his father's pagan God. Okay, got it. Okay, wow. Okay, wow.
So he prayed to his father's God, and inadvertently, I guess the quote unquote answer to the prayer, if you will. Um, what revealed or manifested, as is attested by his words in history. It says he said that at about noon. At about what time?
It said that the end of as the day declined, it was noon as the day declined.
Right,
That's what
because
struck
noon.
me.
Well, I'm
I
saying
know,
because noon, that's when the sun starts to decline in the sky.
right?
Yeah,
But
you
I
have
mean, it's
six
also
six
the
o'clock.
highest
uh,
point. Yeah, yeah,
Well, at 6 o'clock, 6 a.m. to noon, the sun is rising in the sky,
yeah. But
and
it's a
then noon
trip.
and then noon to 6 o'clock again, it starts to decline in the sky
But
to
see, the
six
way
quote
that they
unquote
said
p.m.
that was a trip to me because it's like, wait a minute, that is like a light bulb moment. I mean, I know it, but it's just to see that they've written it this way, telling the story in relationship to time is amazing. Okay, go ahead. I'm
So when
sorry.
is it? So when is it? When did this happen? I'm highlighting it
Or three. Oh, at noon. It
at
happened at
noon.
about noon. Yeah.
Okay, so he saw this at about noon. So that is like pretty much the premiere. Like that's when the sun is at the highest point. That's the brightest. That's the what the pivotal time of the
Yeah.
day. That is the apex of the day. Um, and then it said conquer by this is attached to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I just want to highlight that specific portion of the what storyline of Constantine and how we got this cross or what have you. So
Wow. Okay.
so so
Now here's
yeah,
people's
so
lunch coming up. They were like, what? They're drinking a soda and they're like, what? The cross
so
of
this
the
is
what?
so yeah, so this is the cross that he saw uh with his own eyes, the trophy of a cross of light in the heavens above the sun, and an inscription that said, "Conquer by this." All right, so just wanted to highlight that, and that happened October 28th, um, in the year 312. So let's move on. This is a Wikipedia. Can you see this? I just switched over to a Wikipedia page of Constantine the Great.
Okay, so now you see where that little tab is highlighted for you. You're gonna have to either cut and paste the where you are and put it into the one that's highlighted, the one you want. As long as if it doesn't have that blue rectangle, then you're not gonna see it on this side. So you'll have to cut and paste it, or you unshare this one and reshare the new one. I don't think they found a way to master that yet. And if there's somebody that's listening, even though this is pre-recorded, please hit me up in the email and tell me there's a different way, because I don't see it. I don't see it. So you either have to cut and paste and put it in the one that is highlighted with the triangle, I mean with the rectangle, or yeah, that part. Oh, you're gonna just redo it?
Well, I don't because I'm not following what you're saying, and I'm trying
So
to. It's okay because I'm going to
yeah,
redo it like you said.
yeah. But I mean that's astonishing when you consider the fact that when I think I should say the way that they have taught us to think about, the noonday and all that other stuff. I've always just thought, yeah, it's the hottest point of the day, and I guess it is considered halfway done. But it says as it was starting to decline. That right there, that sort of threw me. That sort of threw
Well,
me.
if you look at it, that is when it starts to decline
Yeah,
because
it
it's a
technically
12-hour
it is.
interval.
Yeah,
It's a
12
12-hour
hours,
interval, and from
middle of the
6
day.
a.m. to 6 p.m. and then 12 would be, the apex of the day, and then it starts to diminish and it's starts to go the other six, the back half of the 6 hours. So yeah. But nonetheless, that was around noontime, correct? That's what we see. So
That's
is
what it
there a way to
said.
blow this up?
Yeah, you would have to go up to your dots on the right hand side, and then you can change it to be as big as you want it and as small as you want it.
Oh.
It takes you for scale either 100, and you can make it go bigger, bigger, bigger by hitting those three dots on your upper right hand side of your screen, right next to your icon. I'm glad
Uh,
you put this up here because it definitely shows Constantine the Great and Christianity. This has been my This has been, anyway, it's the three dots. See where it says where you see uh, your icon for your email. You should see an icon for your email in the upper right hand corner, and there'll be about three dots next to it. Those three dots, click them, and you'll
For
scroll
my
down.
email?
Yeah, see where I don't know what kind of doom flick them. So basically, what you're gonna want to do is go to the zoom part of your computer screen,
All
and you'll
right.
zoom it out.
Okay, so that's what I was just doing. And did it blow up? Because
It
it
don't.
blew
Yeah,
up.
it did get bigger. It did get bigger with whatever you
Oh,
did.
oh.
You guys
Well,
are
why didn't you
watching
tell me
my
the name of the
my.
movie?
You guys are learning with Ronnie Man because I mean it got a little bit, but you got to. But sometimes you got to make that junk like 250. Sometimes when you guys see me blow it up real big, it's because I've blown it up to like 250. Literally, I have to keep going so that everybody else can see
Well,
it, and then
y'all work with me. Pardon me, because this is
somebody kept saying he needs a whiteboard. Well, this is his whiteboard, so let's just chill. He's lining, and I love it. Okay, so hit the button. Hit the button. Hit it a few more times. Hit that. What level
I
do you?
did.
What?
I'm at 250.
Oh yikes.
I'm at 250,
Oh well.
and
Okay.
now I
What?
can't. All
We
right,
see
just
it
bear with me.
perfectly.
Okay,
We
good,
see it perfectly on our side.
good.
You guys
Okay.
bear with us.
So why
Don't you
didn't you
dare go
just
click.
tell me what the name of the movie is that you wanted to? This is
Why don't you
ridiculous.
just tell us the name of the movie that you want to see?
Okay. All right. So we're talking about Constantine, right? And what happened?
Yes. Yes.
He saw after he
Cross.
prayed to his father's god,
Father's pagan
coincidentally
gods
enough.
is what was in parens. Pagan.
Um, exactly. And he saw, and then it says that he saw a cross in the sky. So this is the wiki page of Constantine the Great, and then it shows a Byzantine. I would like to say it's a um, what was this, a textile? What is this? Oh, this is a painting. This is a painting. Do you see this over here? And then you see right here where I
It's
am.
the Byzantine Cross. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so
Yes.
I'm going to
Oh,
scroll
I'm a
down.
weirdo. I don't show it much, but I know a couple of two or three or a few things. Yes, the Byzantine Cross. I see it.
All right, so this is what happened at the Milvian Bridge, the Battle of the Milvian Bridge. It says Eusebius once again. Um, Other Christian sources record that Constantine experienced a dramatic series of events sometime between his father's death, Constantius the First, in 306, and between the Battle of the Milvian Bridge on the 28th of October, 312. The battle secured Constantine's claim to the title of Augustus in the West. So he became the after this was said and done, he became the
The Roman
Augustus.
Augustus.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So it says, which he had assumed unilaterally when his father died. According to the life of Constantine, written after Constantine himself had died by Eusebius, who admitted he heard the story long after it had happened from the emperor himself. So this is out of the emperor's mouth. Um,
He did it
says,
unilaterally.
and
Okay.
who is not specific about when or where it occurred. Constantine saw a vision of a cross-shaped trophy formed from light above the sun at midday, and this is the account right here. It says, about the time of the midday sun, when the day was just turning, he said he saw with his own eyes up in the sky and resting over the sun a cross shaped trophy formed from light and a text attached to it which said, by this conquer. Amazement at the spectacle seized both him and the whole company of soldiers, which was then accompanying him on a campaign that he was conducting somewhere and
Somewhere
witnessed
out
the
there.
miracle. Right,
Somewhere.
right. So in hoc signo vinci, vincis, vincis,
Mm-hmm.
vincis,
Vince's.
however the Latin is, however you say that's in Latin. Um, According to Eusebius, those are the words, and it says, "In this sign, conquer." So we're talking about he's going to conquer with the cross. This is what we're unraveling as of right this moment. It says, "The Christ of God appeared to him with the sign." So it says Constantine also had a dream that same night. According to Eusebius, Constantine also had a dream that same night. And in the dream, so what did he see at midday? At noon, he saw the cross in the sky,
He saw
said,
the
okay, by
Byzantine
this sign,
Cross.
well, that's what they would lead us to believe by uh, that portrait that we saw right
Mm-hmm.
here, um, that we
Mm-hmm.
seen,
Let me
that we
see
have
it.
seen,
It
that we
arose.
seen.
Yeah,
Right. So
it arisen. It arisen in the sky.
so it further lets us know that in addition to that day, him seeing the sign in the sky, that evening or that night while he was dreaming, he dreamt of the Christ of God, and it appeared to him with the sign which had appeared in the sky, and urged him to make himself a copy of the sign which had appeared in the sky, and to use this as a protection against the attacks of the enemy. Okay. So, and it says Eusebius himself, writing in his church history shortly after 313, so this is a year later, makes no mention of this story in that work because it's only a year. It's only a year later. But he said that Constantine told him this years after the event, and then he wrote it. He wrote it
So wait a
in
minute.
another.
He didn't tell him when he saw it. Like when I see stuff, you the first person I call to make sure it's documented by somebody else. This cat waited years after to tell him this is what I saw.
Right.
Am I understanding it right?
Absolutely, because
Okay.
we just read earlier that it said that he hasn't that
He didn't tell
he had,
nobody.
it says it right here, who admitted he heard the story long after it had happened from the emperor himself.
Okay. I'm with you. The- This that sentence alone further
So
solidifies my thought process on
be well I'm
him
saying because other
being
people,
narcissist.
it's obvious that other people had the same thought process because well you wrote church history in 313. This happened in 312, so you would
Mm-hmm.
think that he would have added that a year later, but
Mm-hmm.
it's revealed who admitted he heard the story long after it had happened from the
Mm.
emperor himself.
Okay.
um but as we progress, we'll see that Constantine himself attested to it, like he it's recorded out of his own mouth that he said the same exact thing. uh so when when he revealed that was you know uh well, we'll find out. It says 320. It says 324 later on. And this is in 312. So this is what, you know 12 years later. But nonetheless, I'm going to stop sharing this, and then I'm going to share something else because that's what we do around here.
Yeah, we are riven and we are robed, and I'm so glad that Ronnie Man has the helm.
Yeah,
He
this
is
is
handling
intense.
it. Go
I
ahead,
don't
we
know about
got you.
that, but
We
this is
got you.
intense. All
We
right, so
got
we're
you.
gonna look at some images.
Okay, let's get
So
some
boom,
images going on. Boom.
can you see this?
Wow. Oh yeah, I see
So this is a
it.
depiction
This cat.
of Constantine seeing the image of the cross at noonday. Right. This is what they allow us to believe through illustrations, things of the nature. In the previous Byzantine illustration, we saw a different kind of cross, a Maltese cross, whatever you want to call it, Byzantine cross.
Mm-hmm.
Cross of Malta, what have you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, right here we see a cross, and he's looking, and all of the people are in astonishment, things of the nature.
Let me
So
see.
this is, and then you also see a banner of words. Okay, what is this? You also see, sorry, y'all. You also see
It's okay.
a banner of words, and we know that's in the Latin, and it says, "By this conquer, by this
Mm-hmm.
sign, you will
Mm-hmm.
conquer." Okay, so I just wanted to make that known. So we already know through history that, I mean, I learned this in middle school actually.
Right. Right.
So people are learning this whole entire Roman portion of imperialism and the switch over to Christianity. We're even learning this in public schools. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about the curriculum nowadays, but when I was coming up in the public school, they this was clearly on the curriculum. Um, so let me continue on.
This is interesting. I'm enjoying this.
Okay, and I'm sorry, I'm navigating
Don't be
horrifically.
sorry. Take your time. So, but he was basically, as the emperor, he tried to evolve the whole entire thing into this quote unquote Christian type of environment. He really allegedly, and I say allegedly, I mean the cat's first name is Flavius, and you know how I feel about the Flavians. Anyway,
Hmm.
I digress.
But
So
do
he
you?
basic, huh?
I said, but do you?
No, I don't, because you know how I feel about the Flavians. You know how I feel about all of their battles and all that other stuff. But I don't know. It's just it's. I'm glad you're doing this because to me, and by the way, you guys, I don't know where this is headed. This is like one of our normal regular conversations. Just a little more laid back or a little bit more, for you all because we're using the screen share. But this is a standard conversation for us. Um, it's just amazing to me, and I don't want to see if this was just me and you talking. I would say where you're about to go makes me wonder how when we know this we stay stuck to Christianity. If it was just me and you talking, that's what I
Right,
would
yeah,
say.
because what's some of the points that we've already uncovered. So he prayed to a pagan god off rip, off
Mm-hmm.
top. He prayed to a
Right.
pagan god, and then what happened? He his what answer to his prayer manifested in the sign of a cross
Right.
that he's supposed to use as an emblem for his conquering armies to move forward and conquer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that was, supposedly, as we can tell thus far, a cross. And we've already seen two types of
Mm-hmm.
crosses. We've seen your
Mm-hmm.
traditional Christian cross, and then we've seen a Maltese, like Byzantine type of, squared out cross. So that's already two types of crosses. So it's up for interpretation as far as what the cross is.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, it's a cross, right?
Right.
So are we screen sharing? Can you see this?
Yeah.
Constantine's famous emblem. So let's look at Constantine's famous emblem. It is the Chi Rho symbol he adopted, and it's now displayed in churches throughout the world. And what am I reading from? I'm reading from Christianity Today.
Christian history from Christianity today.
I'm reading from
Churchianity got you.
I'm reading from Christianity Today. So Christianity attests to this being a actual factual part of
Yeah,
Christian
their system.
history.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so it says in October 312, Constantine and his forces marched toward Rome. Arrayed against them were the armies of Maxentius, 4 times greater. At stake was control of Rome and sole rule of the Western Empire.
Mm.
Okay, according to Christian historian Eusebius, um, the troubled Constantine sought help and prayer to his father's God. Constantine then had a vision of a cross of light emblazoned against the sun and saw the words "in hoc signo." I'm sorry, I want to say vinces because I don't think
Then
there's a soft C, and I don't think there's a soft
in
C
Spanish,
in
in
Latin.
Latin.
Yeah. But forgive me if I'm wrong. Forgive me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I jacked this Latin up. In hoc. Signal Invenkeys. So that's what I'm saying, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so it says, "In this sign you will conquer." So that's the English. That's the English translation of this Latin, in which he saw emblazoned against the sun with a cross of light. Constantine ordered the monogram of Christ to be painted on his soldiers' shields. When he later engaged Maxentius, Constantine won a decisive victory. What was this emblem? Where did it originate? Historian David F. Wright offers this brief history. Okay, so we have seen thus far that it is the cross, right? And Christianity, was this Christianity today, is letting you know exactly what it is. It is the Chi-Rho symbol. And this account right here tells you, it says Constantine ordered the monogram of Christ. So this cross is a monogram of Christ. I'm sorry. This cross is the monogram of Christ. And he ordered it to be painted upon his soldiers' shields because this is the sign in which they will conquer. So that's the sign that they're moving forward with. It says the military standard, or the ensign, or the ensign, carried by the Roman legions, was normally a metal pole surmounted by a figure of an eagle, right? Because they're the eagle, and of course, when they carry, when they are, they're flag people that's in front of the army, that carry their standard, that carry their banner. It usually is a metal pole surmounted by an eagle, or the figure of an eagle, often bearing other decorative features. The name labarum, labarum, a word of disputed origin, perhaps Celtic, may already have designated such a standard, but it became the distinctive name of the form that Constantine gave it. The eagle, displaced by a sign based on the Chi-Rho monogram, on the Chi-Rho, on the Chi-Rho monogram. The first two letters, the Chi being the C and the Rho being the R in Greek, of Christ. So it's the first two letters of Christ. The Chi and the Rho is the C and the R of Christ in
Wow.
Greek. So the cross that he saw, we call it a cross because 2,000 years removed, or 1,700 years removed, it has been translated over and over again and depicted over and over again, illustratively. It has been depicted, and so we have a mental imagery that it is a cross, but that cross was actually the Chi-Rho. The Chi in Greek is it looks like an X. It looks like a sideways, and the
But
Rho
no, don't
is
they use an
superimposed.
X sometimes when they're spelling Christmas? Some people call it an
Exactly because
abbreviation and they use an X.
exactly because that's the Greek Chi. That's the Greek Chi, and people are saying that they're Christ out of Christmas when they use, but in actuality, that has always been the symbol for the Christ. The cross, the X, the Chi has always been the symbol for the Christ from the very beginning, at least since Constantine, because Constantine officially made Christianity a viable religion, and the Roman
Wow.
religion. So it's always been. So people are, what, grabbing at straws. It's a straw man. It's a straw man argument when they say the X, because the X is really the Chi of the Greek alphabet, which is the first letter of Christ. So it is
That's deep.
inadvertently, yeah.
And again, I'm tripping because we did not talk about this. I had no idea where you were headed, but I will tell you that all of my responses are just like they would normally be if it was still just Ronnie and I. So even though this is pre-recorded, I want to tell you guys I had no clue we were headed here, but I do know that isn't it amazing that we all, well, some of you all probably have noticed in the chat that the first thought that hit my mind was how they put that X sometimes there before Christmas. Wow. Go ahead.
Yeah. So later, this symbol itself became known as the labarum, the labarum.
Okay.
Um, and I know I
It's
am
labrum.
demolishing labrum. Yay! Thank you. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do the labrum. So the
Okay.
labrum,
You help
right?
me, I help you. Cause I'm
Even
always jacking
when
up when I get uncomfortable and I get nervous when I'm
even when
speaking. I'm jacking up
blazoned,
words.
not on a standard, but on shields or helmets. So this symbol, the chi and the rho, superimposed on each other, um, became the symbol, whether it was blazoned on the standard or if it was emblazoned on the shields or the helmets of the soldiers. The emblem was thought of as incorporating a cross. That's where we get the idea that it was a cross, because it was the emblem was thought of as incorporating a cross.
Let me make sure I understand the
Antecedents.
timeline because I don't mean to interrupt you, but I need to make sure I understand the timeline. Was this 312 BC? It's BC. It was AD. It
No,
was
this is
312
AD.
AD.
Right,
This is
because this is
312
this is
AD
after, right. This is after Yahweh
after
Shah
the
walked.
ascension and everything.
Exactly. And
So
then so 300
312
years
years
later,
after, here he
exactly.
come.
This is when Constantine
Wow.
decided that Christianity was going to be the state religion of Rome, and he
Okay, well
unified
hold on, because this
the
this is just
Western.
like we talking, because we talking. So basically, this cat comes up 1700 and some odd years after Yahweh
No,
Shah was here.
no, 300 years after,
I mean, 300 years
1700
after.
years ago.
So what we when you hear like we used to say over 2000 years ago on the cross, it's based on what we learned from the hand 1700 years ago of Constantine. Basically.
Right. And then I
Okay.
mean, and but when you said you digress, you have to you really, if you really start to dig in, I'm digressing because that's not the actual premise of what we're discussing, but it
I know,
does
but
go
I'm
hand
just
in
getting an
hand when you
understanding.
dive
Yeah.
in. No, but it goes hand in hand when you dive in, that in actuality is this Constantine's actual historical storyline, or is it a Flavian uh red
It's the
herring?
Flavians. Everything bad is the Flavians. That's my mindset, and I'm sticking to it.
And
Constantine
you
ain't no
know,
better.
but we're
But the
not we're not necessarily
Flavians,
saying that it's good or bad. It's just,
right, it
the
just
way
is.
history has handed us
This
history.
bowl of stuff.
It's how history has handed us history. You know what I'm saying? So I
Here's
mean,
my story.
right.
It's called history.
It's just the method in which we have been handed down the historical
Story that they like to
account.
share. Okay, okay, I got you. I'm not gonna bug you anymore. Go, go. I'm here.
So it says the emblem was thought of, right here. I'll highlight it. The emblem was thought of as incorporating across antecedents for the Cairo monogram have sometimes been suggested. What matters, however, is that Constantine, in what that word, incontrovertibly adopted it as a token of his Christian allegiance. So what are we gaining? What are we getting? What information are we getting from this? That Constantine put the Chi and the Rho together with the Christian mindset, with the Christian thought pattern. With it's a symbol of Christianity, and he is the emperor. So whatever, if he said, a left shoe is going to be the monogram for the symbol of Christianity, then we would be looking at left shoes in church houses today. But he said it's the Cairo, and that's what is um, incorporated as a cross, and it is incontrovertibly adopted as a token of his Christian allegiance. So accounts of Constantine's later military campaigns show him using the what? Labyrinth as a kind of talisman against his enemies. This is one illustration of what modern Christians might describe as the superstitious character of his Christianity. So the cross inadvertently started, not inadvertently, the cross, the origin of the cross being a Christian symbol is actually steeped in superstitious uh, thought patterns as far as it being a talisman to win, that will give you the advantage to win a war that you wage or what have you. And this cross is actually a chi and a rho superimposed. um, I'm going to stop sharing this and let's look at the labyrinth. You
I
with
hope
me?
everybody's enjoying this. I really do. Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, so the labyrinth. Can you see me? The labyrinth. Can you see it? Okay.
Yep.
And that may or may not be how it's pronounced, but that's how we're pronouncing it today. Um,
Larum. Labyrum.
was a vexillum, a wexillum, a military standard, a banner, a symbol, an
Hmm.
emblem that displayed the chi and the rho. This is the chi and the rho. This right here is the chi and the rho superimposed. You see me circling it over here on the right hand side of the screen?
Yes.
Okay, that's the chi and the rho. That is the chi and the rho. And this is the labyrinth, the military standard that um, Constantine implemented in what the historically has been embedded in our mind that he saw a cross, but actually what he saw was a chi and a rho, a Christogram, because it is the first two letters of the word Christ, or so the story goes. Christogram formed from the first two Greek letters of the word Christ, chi and rho. It was first used by the Roman Emperor Constantine the Great. Okay. So that's all I wanted to show you as far as the labyrinth is concerned. Like it lets you know specifically that this labyrinth is the standard, is the emblem that the Roman army used as their signature, as their battle emblem, as their battle standard. And they walked in front, that's what walked in front of their army. That's what was embedded in their shields and on their helmets, and that was on their flags as well, their banners. So wanted to say that. So we're looking at the chi and the rho.
Wow.
Okay.
All I know is wow. That's all I know. Wow.
What we think is a cross is actually the chi and the rho, which is the in the Greek the first two letters of Christ, but the chi, this is the chi and the rho. Cairo. Cairo just happens to be as well. It just happens to be the uh, the capital of Egypt, and Egypt is Mitzrayim in the Hebrew. And Mitzrayim is the house of bondage. Cairo is the capital of the house of bondage, and Rome uses the Cairo as its emblem to conquer. Understand what I just said.
Man. Go ahead, Ronnie. Wow. Wow.
Did you grasp that? Did
Man,
you grasp that?
you know
Should I
what?
say it again?
No, because when you kept saying Cairo earlier, I was thinking of Cairo, Egypt. And now
So
you just put the nail in it. Okay, go ahead. Wow.
yeah, so I'll
Mm.
say it again.
Come
Cairo.
on. Come on.
Cairo is the capital of the house of bondage, and Rome uses it as its emblem, as its banner, as its standard to conquer. The
Wow.
capital of the house of bondage.
Wow. It says that. Wow. Now I know it's gonna be somebody like, well, I don't believe it, and this is what saved me, and this is what you go on with that.
That's not what saved
Now,
you.
yeah. Well, anyway, go ahead. I'm just wow.
So
I'm floored.
The Cairo is one of the earliest forms of the Christogram. What's the Christogram? The Cairo. You see it? This is the Cairo. It's a monogram or a combination of letters that forms an abbreviation for the name of Jesus Christ, traditionally used as a religious symbol within the Christian church. The Chi and the Rho.
Rome.
Bondage,
Rome.
Rome, Egypt,
Wow.
Babylon.
Wow.
So it's all the same. It's all the same. It's all the same. Formed by superimposing the first two capital letters Chi and Rho, which looks like in the English an X and a P, but when you superimpose it, it looks like this, and it is actually the Greek letters Chi and Rho, which is in the English the CH and the R.
So if you take that little thing where it says the stratogram in that next sentence, so if you take that little bitty thing that looks like the P part off, it's an exact cross. You see that where it
Absolutely.
said, yeah, take that little bitty curve, take that piece off, and it's it, and it is a
Well,
cross.
we've discussed this actually. This was
And
actually
that's what I
one
was
of
about to say. We've seen you pull this up at the top of the year. This was around the
exactly,
top of the year. I
exactly,
remember this.
exactly.
I remember
It's
this,
just it's
but you
just
didn't go in depth
so,
with it
so
like this
right
because it wasn't that topic. It wasn't that
but
topic.
this is the thing though. I'm still not going in depth. I'm What I'm doing is tying this into a specific thing. Like we're not specifically talking about the
We're
Cairo.
not
It's just that
honing
this
on like
plays an
this.
important
Yeah.
right. It just plays an important role in the thing that we are paralleling when it's all said and done. But stay
I
with me. Stay. Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Go.
yeah.
No, I
No, no, no. We're
okay.
having a
Cause
discussion. We're
okay,
having a
okay, cool.
discussion.
Because I'm over here on another little tab, and something just stood out to me. Constantius requested his son's presence from Galerius, and Constantine made the way through the territories of the hostile Severus to join his father at, it looks like it says Garisacum or whatever, the modern Bologna, France. They crossed together to Britain and fought a campaign in the north before Constantius' death. Now, the reason why this is so pivotal to me, nothing. I'm away because I know you headed there. But the reason why this is pivotal to me is because of the fact that they were conquering certain areas at this time.
Rome conquers the known world.
You see? And so when I see they crossed together to Britain and fought a campaign in the north before his father's death, all right, at Eboracum in 306, immediately acclaimed emperor by the army, Constantine then threw himself into a complex series of civil wars. I'm saying this because I'm thinking to myself about everything I know about the Flavians and about their gospels, or what they call as battles. Gospels is their term for the word battles. The series of
Well,
civil
this is their
wars.
marching orders right here.
Okay, come
This is
on.
their emblem. This is what they march by. This is what they conquer by. So, gospels, the God spell,
Right, that's what it
the
is. A
God
God spell.
speed,
Yeah, God. Mm-hmm.
and so
Okay, let me be
it's a
quiet.
battle cry. It is a battle
Wow.
cry, and this is the emblem in which, they embark upon battle. You okay? Yeah, you with me? All right. So it says that the Chi symbol was used by the Roman Emperor Constantine. We've seen this, as his military standard.
Mm,
Constantine's standard was also
mm,
known as the Labyrinth,
mm.
and however we pronounce that.
Go back to the military standard, the vexillum. As a part of a military standard, vexillum.
Yeah, that's what they put on their uniforms, on their garb, on their,
Yeah, just standard
on their
military
shields,
organizations
on
like
their
their insignias and all that.
exactly, exactly. That's the ensign, your insignia.
Ironically, that's Britain, but go ahead.
Constantine's standard was also known as the Labyrinth, if that's how you pronounce
Mm-hmm.
it. Early symbols, similar to the Cairo, were the starogram. The staros is what's the staros? That's the staros right there. It's similar to. It's extremely similar to the Cairo. You see that, right?
That's in cuneiform.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
that's cuneiform.
no, that's not.
No, it's
That's not.
not. No, it's not. That's actually written out. Okay, got it.
That's
Okay, yeah, I
that.
see it.
That's the Tau in the row.
The town in the row. I see it.
Yeah, that's the Tau in the row. That's the letter T in the English,
Mm.
and it's the starogram in the words. Starogram, like this is the Christogram. The Cairo is the Christogram. The chi in the row. This is the starogram. The root word in starogram is staros, and staros is the pole that Yahushua was crucified upon.
Correct. Because, yeah.
We call it a
And
cross. We call it a
no,
cross in
they
modern
call it
day
a
English.
cross.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
saying they have led us to uh uh
To believe that it's a cross.
what that's what that in our minds that's what we think it's a cross, but in actuality it's a staros, and that see it's a monogrammatic cross or a tau. A tau is the letter T, but also that chi looks like a sideways T
That's
right
right.
here, an
Yeah.
X or what have you. And
Yeah.
that X, that's why, X looks like a
That's what
cross.
it
X
is.
marks the
Yeah.
spot or what have you. So,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the monogram.
Mm. Mm.
The Christian monogram
That's the
looking like the
early
spokes
Christian
of a wheel,
monogram, looking like the spokes
with
of a wheel
the spokes of a
in a
wheel,
circle. Mm.
sometimes within a circle. Now,
Mm.
when we go into
Mm.
I'm foreshadowing because
Mm.
we need to have this talk. The word church. The word church has been slid into the text. The word is ecclesia. When you translate ecclesia in the Greek into the English, you get the word assembly. You don't get the
Mm-hmm.
word church.
Mm-mm.
And it sounds like I'm nitpicking, but the fact of the matter is assembly and a church are two complete different things. And what I mean by that is etymologically. Ecclesia actually means, to speak out, to assemble, and to speak. Um, the word church does not derive from ecclesia. The word church derives from kurios, from kirk, from kuriakon,
Yeah.
kuriakon.
Yeah.
It's a totally different word. And that word is not, every time you see the word church, when you look at the original Greek, the word is not kuriakon, kuriakos, kurios. It's nothing. That word is not there. It, if you see the word kurios or kuriakon or kuriakos, that word should be translated into church. But every time you see church, you don't see in the original Greek, you don't see that word kuriakon. What you see is ecclesia, and ecclesia means assembly. So they're playing a mind trick on you
Yeah,
to
they
think
are.
that by taking the assembly, the concept of the
What?
assembly, and switching that word and making your mind have a connotation that assembly and church is one of the same. But we're going to get into that. So the word the word kirk or Circe
Oh, wow.
is all the same word, and this word implies a circle. That's why this is
Inside of one.
this. That's why the monogram for the early Christians was a wheel, like sometimes within a circle. So sometimes there'll actually be a circle around it. It's because the church is a circle. Also, the word Gilgal means circle, and that's where we get Galilee. That's where we get the word Galilee from Gilgal. That's Gilgal is the area in which Ezekiel saw the wheel in the
That's
wheel.
right.
The wheel in the wheel.
That's right.
That's why it's called Gilgal,
That's what
because
I
he
thought
saw
about.
the wheel in the wheel, which is a circle. And that's why the place is called Galilee. And you have to understand all the nuances go together. Yahweh Shah is from Judea, but you see him when he speaks to the masses, he always goes to Galilee to preach the truth.
Mm.
Inadvertently, what I'm saying is that he goes into the church because that's where his people are, and he's pulling you out of the church and bringing you back into truth.
Wow.
He goes into Galilee, which is Gilgal, which is wheel, which is circle, which is Circes, which is Kirk, which is church.
So he goes into the church to bring the people out to give them truth.
Yeah, and and
Wow.
and and you're saying those things because I said those things, but what he's actually doing is going in. He's doing the same exact thing, but that's the metaphor of what he's doing, because the metaphor is actually the reality of what needs to happen. But what he's doing is going into Galilee to speak to the masses, to speak to the multitudes, and only a few within the multitudes are going to hear his voice and come out. That's his objective.
Okay, so
And
basically,
Galilee is a metaphor for the church, because Galilee is
so
the wheel, which is a circle, which is
okay,
Kirk, which
okay.
is church.
Which is why so many of us have come out of the church
Church.
and
We
we're attempting to get people to come out by way of, I mean, this is totally by way of the Ruach that we even had any sense to do it, because most of us have said, you know what, let me see your real way. Let me see the truth. And then we come out of the church. A lot of us that are even in the chat um, watching as we do this replay are thinking, man, that's a trip because I ain't been in the church in a long time. And I've had people say, well, you need to get back in the church. And then the funny thing is that everybody that I know that is not in that quote unquote churchy anity stuff anymore, they are layer by layer coming into more of the knowledge. And it's like you cannot get the knowledge of truth if you are still bound up in that lie.
I want you to understand also exactly, and you'll never get it if you're bound up in the
And
lie.
we'll fight for it. Somebody will
Be-
fight you for this.
so it sounds like that is a reach per se. Some people might have grasped what I just said,
Nah, that ain't no reach, man. Because the first thing I thought of when you
but no,
pulled that up
we're going
and
to
you
do
said
a
wheel was
study
Ezekiel.
on we're going to do a study on church, on the word church. It is the word Kirk. It
Well,
is the word Kirk.
can I show something if you just hold your
Oh, okay, well, just hold fast since I
okay.
have this pulled up real
Okay,
quick. I just
okay,
want to say
okay.
this
Okay.
so it can
No,
be
no,
said.
no. Yeah.
Notice that this is a 6 point star.
Yes.
That's all I wanted to say.
Yes. And here's what I want to show everybody, because just to put the nail in this thing right here, because while you've been speaking, I have pulled up something too, and I want people to look at this, and I want you to remember what they started putting up all over the United States over the past several years. Can you see this? I don't know whether you can see it or not. Let me double check that you can see it. Yeah, you can see
Oh,
this. Look
the
at this.
art,
But look at what it's called. The name
the
of
Arch of
this,
Constantine.
yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Arch of Constantine, or the Ark of Constantine. Arch of Constantine, one of three surviving ancient Roman triumphal arches in Rome, erected hastily to celebrate Constantine's victory over Maxentius. It incorporates sculptures from many early buildings, including part of a battle. I keep focusing on the Flavians because their term for battle is
Gospel.
gospel. Okay? And so it says of a battle frieze. I think that's, and pardon me, you guys,
Freeze.
if I freeze if I said it wrong. Okay? And figures of prisoners from the Forum of Trajan.
Trey John.
That. A series of, you hit that word, let's just say Hadrianic roundels. How do you say that? That's
Hadrianic.
it. Hadrianic roundels. And a set of 8 Aurelian panels. So this is it. Can you see that still? Is it still there? So now, do you remember just recently, and I say recently as early as, let me show you the different arches that have been brought into the United States. And a lot of people were saying, oh my goodness, why are they bringing those in? Let's see, the arches that they brought to New York.
It's because all roads lead to Rome.
Yeah. And so it's important. It's important. That, and so see but what are they calling it here? Here they're actually calling it the Temple of Baal Arch arrives to New York. Dude, this is the same thing. Let me show you this right here. This is the same exact thing. It is no difference. They just got through saying that there were only a couple left in what they said 3. Well, all they did was just erected them and took them all around the world so they could establish their kingdom. And I just want to let you understand that right there. That's the one that's in, this one right here is the Temple of Baal Arch unveiling in London. That's the one in London. Now, where is the one? Do they have it here for the one in New York? Because that's what I requested for the one in New York. But it doesn't say it. What it does say is that the Temple of Baal Arch arrives in New York as America's turn away from God continues. And then this little story is lifted here. But what it's telling us is that they're traveling around with this deal. But I submit that I remember there being several of these arches. And once everybody sort of got comfortable with the one that was a traveling arch, that they actually started to put them up in certain areas. And so you cannot get any more closer to reality than where we are at this point right now, than where Ronnie has brought us to right now, because of Yahweh at this very second. And we're going to open up a little more, I would only imagine, because, again, this is just one of our studies that we do. But I'm linking all this together in one big fat lump. It's one big lump. Okay, go ahead, Ronnie. I'm sorry.
Are we still sharing? Okay, good. The Chi and the Rho. The Chi
Mm-hmm.
Rho.
Yeah, that's back up now.
Okay, it says in pre-Christian times, the Chi symbol was also to mark a particularly valuable or relevant passage in the margin of a page. So it was like a asterisk, if you will. The abbreviation was the Creston. Creston, that's where we get the word Christos from, where we get the Christ. The Christ is actually the Greek understanding of what the word good is. So when we say Jesus Christ, Jesus is actually a Latin transliteration from the Greek.
Now,
And so you're saying that he is good. That's the Creston, which is the Christos. And so that is the Greek version or interpretation uh, of actually, to be completely transparent, of Mithra,
but wait a
of
minute,
Mithras.
Ronnie.
No, did you hear what I just
Yeah,
said?
of
Did you
Mithra,
hear what
but
I just said? Of
yeah,
Mithras.
but
But
here,
but look, but look though, he's the Messiah. He's not the Christ. The Christ is Greek. The Greeks, the Hellenes are looking for for the Christos, the Christos, and they have usurped the Mashiach, and instead gave us their version of the Christos.
I wanna. Okay, I'm looking up something right now because there was. Go ahead, because I'm pulling up something that I think you'll find very unique. Go ahead.
Although formed of Greek characters, the device is frequently found serving as an abbreviation in the Latin text with endings added appropriate to a Latin noun, the chi and the rho, signifying cresto, the dative form of crestus. And we just saw that's the creston, and now he's Christus, Christo. And so the creston, the crestos, is the Greek lettering, and then we get Christos from the Latin, but that's not the Mashiach. That's not Messiah. That is
That's
there.
Barabbas.
That is Barabbas.
That's
That is
Barabbas.
Barabbas.
That's
That,
straight up Barabbas.
that's Bacchus. If you look who Bacchus is, that's
Mm-hmm.
Bacchus.
Mm-hmm.
That's also Mithra. That's Bacchus in the Greek, and that's Mithra in the in
Mithra.
the in in
Mm-hmm.
the in the Roman.
Mm-hmm. This is straight
And
up. This is straight up. So basically, to choose this is literally choosing Barabbas. Wow.
so look up who Bacchus is. Look up who Bacchus is. I mean, not you right now, but just who is ever listening. Look up who Bacchus is. Bacchus. Bacchus, and look up who Mithra is, or Mithras. Mithras. Mithras and Bacchus. These are the Roman and the Greek versions of the Hebrew Mashiach, but they have given us their version, and they have suppressed and usurped, if you ask me, the actual Mashiach, the actual Hebrew Messiah, and they've given us a Greek. They've given us a Latin rendition of a Greek creston
Well, there's Bacchus right there.
called Christ. Oh yeah, you
There's
pulled him up.
Bacchus. Mm-hmm.
See, we're going off course, but it's
But
relative.
it's
It's
okay.
relevant
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. What's with the fruit? What's with the grapes?
because I mean, he's the god of the harvest. He's the god of
Young Bacchus.
he's the god of wine. He's
Sick
the god of
Bacchus.
even if you want to say debauchery, even, you know what I mean, like.
The Bacchus pendant is one of Suzanne's original designs. Yeesh. Suzanne's Bacchus, Eddie Campbell's Bacchus. Bacchus in the mirror. What? What the Bacchus? Wow. Wow.
So you see the laurel, that's the whole concept of the
Around the
laurel.
head. Okay, let me go back to that one. All around here. Right there. That laurel. Wow. Wow.
Dionysus.
It's called the fanatic for Jesus. Bacchus Dionysus. God of TBN. No, they was
So
just telling you something. That's all TBN was just telling you something. Fanatic for Jesus. Bacchus Dionysus, God of TBN. A convenient pagan deity invented by the ancients as an excuse for getting drunk. Help this person. Let me turn off this person's information. But nonetheless, that's the Bacchus.
but he's the good one. He's the good one. He's the Crestos.
Mm.
He's the Crestos. He's the Creston.
But
And then
he's not the Mashiach.
right, but see, that's the thing. They have made us put those two concepts together and thinking that they are one and the same. They're two different things. That's why that if you I don't know if anyone's ever cared to notice, but you've never heard me call him the Christ, because he's not the Christ. He is the Messiah. He is the
Correct.
Mashiach. The
Mm-hmm.
Christ are these things.
Wow. Wow.
The Christ is the Latin crest. The Christ is the Latin crest in the Greek. Crest is Greek. It means good. It means good. But you have to understand Yahweh Shah. That's why Yahweh Shah said, "Why do you call me good? I'm not the Christ. I'm Mashiach.
All right, Ronnie, you
He,
got me now.
the-
That's deep.
the- I'm telling you, it makes perfect sense. He was like, hey, good teacher. He's like, don't call me Christos.
Mm, mm. Look at this. Wow.
I'm not the Creston.
Wow.
He said, no
Whoa.
man is good. So if you understand the
How is
historical
no man
aspects of
good?
what's in yeah, so I mean, why did he say that? What he was the people that were in that day,
Mm-hmm.
they understood what he was saying because Bacchus was an everyday, thing. Is we don't know him because in actuality, it's all been syncretized. All of these religions and all of these entities have been morphed into one, and we call him Jesus Christ.
And you know what? No matter what, even if I mean, I know this isn't one of our normal conversations, but I'm just gonna be candid and say it. No matter what, people are still gonna want to hold on to that, and that's the sad part. Do your own due diligence and do your own study. Is all I'm gonna say. Do
Well,
your own due
I'm giving
diligence,
you,
folks, because this is the meat.
I'm giving you a head start. I'm giving you a running start, and
Start
I'm
with
giving
it,
you a blueprint to start. Exactly, I'm giving you a starting point,
and a very good starting
and
point.
follow this through. Follow this through. I'm not reaching. I'm not like I'm just showing you these things, and these are the understand this. These are the origins of
Christianity.
thank you. And understand, Yahweh Shah said that no good tree can bear bad fruit, and no bad tree can bear good fruit. So if the origin is bad, there's no way anything good is ever going to come out of it. And if you think otherwise, don't take it up with me. Take it up with the words of Yahweh Shah. He said that. He taught that. He said no good fruit can come from a bad tree. Doesn't matter how good. He said no man is good. So it doesn't matter how good you think, oh yeah, but I've gotten so look, that's Galilee. He's going into Galilee, but the only reason he's going into Galilee is not because it's a cool place to be. He's going into Galilee to get you out. That's why he's going into Galilee. You grasp that? Oh, you didn't grasp that. That's okay. Somebody grasped that. Somebody grasped that. So when we're looking at the Chi and the Rho, we see that long before Christian times, it was the
I'm
Creston, which
sorry.
means
I'm sitting up
good.
here talking. Can you hear me now?
Oh, where are you? I can.
I
I
had the
can.
mute on. I was telling everybody, well, I pulled up Matthew 7, verse 17, so you all have a reference point. Beware
Okay.
of false
Okay.
prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are raving wolves. Ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistle?
So who's Bacchus? He's the one with the
You just
grapes on
seen
his
him. Grapes on his head, and he also had the the
the
little
laurel.
what's that the laurel, the little grape leaves. Those grape leaves. Do
Mm-hmm.
men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistle? Verse 17. Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. Wherefore, by their fruits you shall know them.
He plainly tells you that if it's a bad tree, it is impossible for it to make good fruit. If it is a good tree, it is impossible for it to make bad fruit.
Wow.
And the origin, if the origin stinks, the entire fruit, the entire produce
Tree.
section
Oh, entire. Oh,
stinks.
wow. Wow.
Um, don't take it up
Wow.
with me. We just saw where Yahweh said that that's him. That's him. You got to talk to him about that.
So now you know where I'm going, Ronnie. And I don't mean, hey, this is our conversation, but I'm gonna say it. You know where I'm going. What I declared last week between when I was talking, I was like, I don't know, man. I ain't trying to feel that new thing no more. I would just rather, instead of me going back saying,
Well,
"Oh, look, it's referenced over here," I'll just go over here.
well, see, follow me
It just
through.
solidifies my point
Follow
even
me
more.
through.
Okay,
If
I'm
that
going.
if
I'm going.
so this is doing justice then. If this is solidifying that point,
Okay,
just continue
go
to
ahead.
follow me through.
Okay, okay, I'm with you.
I told you that I wasn't going to I wasn't going to do this study with you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, only until recently when you've started saying specific things, and I'm like, okay, you
She
need to,
ready?
yeah, you need to hear this. You need to see this.
Yeah, because I was like,
Even
I
though
got
even
you.
though we've talked about aspects of it, we've never
Right,
put these things
right.
together. And but um, this is starting ground to do your own research. Like I'm not bug like
You ain't bugging. I got you. I got you. I'm
all
with
right.
you. I'm with you.
So understand that long before Christian times, the Chi-Rho was a symbol in the Greek, abbreviating Creston, which means good. The Creston is good, but he said, "Why do you call me good teacher? I ain't nobody good but the Father in heaven." He's talking about Bacchus,
Right.
because that's the
Wow.
Creston.
Say that again. Read that whole thing again and put that together again.
In pre-Christian times, before all of this, the Chi-Rho symbol was used to mark particularly valuable and relevant passages in the margin of a page, abbreviating Creston. So this,
So Creston means good. Got you.
but check it though. This right here
Is an
is the
asterisk.
Chi-Rho, which Constantine implemented to be the emblem for which he conquered. That is what we call the cross today. This was the original form of what that story came down through the ages or what have you, and we hear it as, oh, he saw a cross in the sky, but this is what he really saw. But this predates Constantine, and he saw the Greek version. Like this was already a thing. He saw the Creston when he prayed to
Mm.
a pagan god to reveal things. He saw the Creston, and check it. The Creston in the Greek means good. And Yahweh Shah specifically asked, "Why do you call me good?" Because they were actually relating the Creston to him. And he's like, "Look, I'm not your
Why
Creston."
you call me Christos? Why you call me Christon?
And
I'm not
Creston,
Christon. Why you
so
call me
the
Christon?
Christos is the Greek form, although formed of Greek characters. The device is frequently found serving as an abbreviation in the Latin.
So how would they have said that? Tell me what they would have said to him.
I'm
They
not
would
going
have
to
called
tell you,
him.
Chase.
No, but I'm
No,
saying they would have said Creston. He go, why are you calling me Creston?
exactly, or Crestos, or
Crestos.
you know,
He said, why are you calling me Christos?
why are you
Crestos.
why are you calling me the Creston? Why are you calling me Crestos?
Right.
And that is because they were Hellenistic people. They were Hellenes, so they were Greek, so they were speaking in the Greek.
Mm.
This is a Greek. This is long before Christian times. The Chi and the Rho, which is the Greek, the Chi and the Rho symbol, which is the Greek. It says that it was abbreviated as Creston for Creston. It abbreviated for Creston, which means good. He was saying, "Why are you calling me Creston? I'm not your Creston. I am not your Creston." It says
Mm.
and then it tells you that even though that's in the Greek, listen, although formed of Greek letters, the device is frequently found serving as an abbreviation in the Latin, with endings added appropriate to the
Wow.
Latin noun, thus Chi and Rho, signifying Christo, the dative form of Christus. who is the Christ.
Wow.
Are you
Wow.
grasping the connection of
I'm
what I'm saying
grasping
here?
and everything. Yes.
It comes from the Greek kreston, and even though that is Greek characters in the their quote unquote alphabet, their aleph bet, the alphabet, even though that's in the Greek, it is frequently found serving as the abbreviation in the Latin form.
And right now, aren't they using a lot of Greek letters to determine what's next
But
for
that's
a lot
not,
of
see,
people?
I'm not even
I
focused
know.
on
I
all these
know.
other Greek letters. I'm talking about the Greek
I
letters
know.
for Creston is Christo.
Wow.
I'm sorry. The Latin letters for the Greek Creston is Christo.
Wow.
Who is the Christ in the English? And he told you, I'm not the Creston. Stop calling me good. No man is good. I'm not the good guy that you're looking for. I am Mashiach. He didn't say that part, but he is
Right.
Mashiach. There's a
Right.
difference. What we do is we conflate everything and put all of those together, but it's not. But it's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. I'm harping on this. I hope somebody grasps what I'm saying.
No, you're not
This
harping. You doing it just right.
this is freeing information. This is freeing. This whom the sun sets free is free indeed.
And then another thing about it is, once we know this, and I know everybody, I'm asking you all, please go and search this out and study it yourself. And you know what? I need you to take this video, utilize it, get everything together, and begin to even go further as far as your study. Because this little time that we have here, even if we go 4 hours, it's still not the amount of time that you might get from studying something on your own. Go ahead. I'm gonna see if Leah's gonna join us. But he's calling in. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I'm doing this for you, so I need you to hear it. So we're just gonna
No,
talk
I'm
about the
here. I'm
weather.
right here. No, I'm right here.
Okay, we're gonna. I was just gonna talk about the weather, until you came back, or how about them Cowboys? Because this is actually for you. This is actually for you. Everybody else is benefiting from this. Well, I'll say this: everybody else is hopefully benefiting from this. So we'll just
Lee's gonna join us. I'm gonna just send him the link so that he can get this with us right here. So everybody.
all right.
All right, I want Lee to join us only because I know that this is something that as many ministers, and I'm using that term, will share this information because, to be honest with you, you guys, this has been the hang up. This has truly and honestly been the hang up. This has been the hang up. Nobody wants to challenge or nobody wants to ask any questions. And here's the thing. Yeah, I said challenge because challenge is exactly what it is. It's about challenging this stuff that we've been taught and making it pan out. And making it pan out. Now, there's going to be a whole lot of people that want to hold on, and that's cool. I'm telling you right now, I have a hard time letting go of certain words that are so ingrained in me. After 57 years or however long you've been learning, let's see, what, 5, 6 years old, learn how to pray. So, after 51 years of doing something one way, that it becomes ingrained in you. And sometimes we don't want to let nothing go. We want to say, well, don't let me, don't teach me no more so that I'm not accountable for any of it because I don't feel comfortable with changing. And I'll tell you now, I'm still using words like good luck. I'm still saying, slipping and saying prayer. But you know what? I believe that once we get the truth and the truth sets down inside of us, as we all have been doing to correct ourselves, we will eventually let that go. Now, this is the reason why. And I don't even know what you're talking about right now when I said I'm not dealing with that new thing no more. Because I
This
believe
ain't the reason why yet. This ain't
what
the reason why yet. You
it's
about to
not.
find no, not yet.
Oh,
But it
sticky,
is.
sticky.
But no, it's even. It's
Ooh,
even.
I'm excited. Okay, I'm excited. Let's pour it on then. Pour it on. Come on with it. We got to get this in. Ooh, just go. And then what I'd like for you to do is because we are using this and it's our study together, if you can put it in summation when we do get to the end so that
Oh, I
everybody can
will.
get the bullet
I
points.
round it out.
You
I
know what I mean?
round
You
it
got to
out.
round it out. All right, so is there another screen you want to put up? Because I saw something pop up and leave.
Yeah, because that
But
one
I
may.
just want to say that that's the one part I want to read that passage again while you pull that up. It was in the seventh chapter of Matthew where he says in verse, well, it's the whole verse 15 through 23 where he was just basically saying, don't basically call me good. And then he says in verse 15, beware of the false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. You shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns? Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistle? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. All right? But that one thing that I want everybody to get is the fact that he went ahead and let them know my name ain't good. Do not call me that. That's not who I am. That's that other cat. And you know what's so funny? Because there are the parallels. There are these two parallels that seems to be a running theme of confusion. And it's like, which hand? I got this in this hand. I got this in this hand. Choose which one you want. And then they open up that hand for the one you chose, and it's like, okay, looks like that other. Yeah, that looks like it. And so they take it because they really think that's it, and then they eat it, and they're like, wow, it really does taste like that candy, but it's really not that candy. Because then when you get the real candy that was in the other hand, and you're tasting it, you're like, whoa, wait a minute. They favor each other, but this something is different about this. This is really rich chocolate. This is really different. That my point is that there was Barabbas. Okay, there, and now we see Bacchus. You see that there were two Jesuses because everybody wants to use the word Jesus, which is amazing to me because the J didn't come up till about 500 of our years ago. Okay, so you got the Jesuses, and then and it's the duality of it all. I know this is our class, you and me, so I'm gonna be me. This right here is a trip because it reminds me of the duality of it all. Everything is dual, dual, dual. Which one would you choose? And they require study. Go ahead, Ronnie. Here. Oh, I see them. All of them. Wow. The Kairos, Cairo, Cairo, Cairo,
That's the
Cairo.
Cairo. That's the Cairo. That's the Cairo. That's the Cairo. This is the original uh, emblem, the original insignia, the original standard, the original banner for Christianity by way of Constantine and his vision that he saw when at midday, at noon, at midday, at noon. We see that documented, right, in several places. You can attest to that, right? I made clear to
Yeah, you were
highlight that
clear to
point.
that at the very beginning. Yeah.
Okay. So check it out. So the A, so we have an A. Can you see my cursor?
Of course.
Okay. So we see the small letter A in the Greek, and then we see the omega, the small teeny omega, um, in the um, in the Greek as well. This is alpha and omega. So
Boy,
this
these
is letting
cats
you,
right here.
so this is letting you know that
Okay, boy.
the Christos is the alpha and omega. That this is your alpha and omega. This is the sign of the cross. This is the Constantinian sign of the cross. This is the chi and the rho. And just bringing it all together thus far, the chi and the rho is Cairo, who is the capital of what? The house of bondage. The house of bondage, and this is your alpha and omega. This is your alpha and omega, alpha and omega, alpha and omega, alpha and omega. So this is just to bring it home because the alpha and omega was never there. That has been an addition to the insignia as we move
Wow.
forward throughout time to just solidify. Now we're talking about this is your alpha and omega.
Wow.
This is your alpha and omega. This is your
Ronnie,
alpha
I
and
could
omega,
throw up.
alpha and omega, alpha and
I
omega,
could
alpha
throw
and
up.
omega, alpha and omega, alpha and omega. Constantly, Constantinely.
I'm so tired of mess. I really am. And it's this right here is coming out in a time in my personal life where I just don't have no time for foolishness. This right here, this
So this is why I don't even use Alpha and Omega. I go back to the ancient Hebrew tongue and say the Aleph Thou, the Aleph Thou. That's what I
wow.
say.
Wow.
I don't
Wow.
even like using the beginning and end. That's the English. I don't even like. He's the
Wow.
Aleph Thou. He is the he is the beginning and the end as far as the English and how we perceive it or what have you. But this the Chi and the Rho is not the Aleph Tau. I'm sorry, the Alpha Omega. It's not the Alpha Omega.
So that's saying like four different things.
You're right.
To,
This is your Rho. This is your Chi. This
Kai.
X is your
Mm-hmm.
Chi.
Mm-hmm.
That's your Rho.
Row.
It looks like
Mm-hmm.
a
P.
elongated P or what have you, but it's
Mm-hmm.
actually a
Mm-hmm.
Greek R. That's your
Upside
Rho.
down music note. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or it could be a
And
quarter note.
and this is your Alpha, and this is your Omega,
And it's all Greek.
and it's all Greek,
All Greek.
and it's all Greek.
And it's all
This
Greek.
is this is Creston. This is
It's
Creston,
Creston. And it's got a
who's
place.
Christos.
But it
Yeah,
ain't Yahweh Shah.
it's not
It's not the
Mashiach.
Mashiach. It's not Mashiach. It's not Mashiach. It's got a place, but it's not Mashiach. It's not the Messiah. Wow. Wow. I wow.
I
I'm
hope you're
just gonna
seeing this, and I hope that this is sounding alarms in your head and making you have and making you rethink, recalibrate, come out of her. Whatever lingo that you're using.
whatever works to
Um,
get you done, to get her done, whatever it is to get me done. Let me give it all to me. I don't want to hold back nothing. Just give it to me. Just let me
all
have
right.
it so I can be
So
done.
mental image.
Mental
You see
image.
what's going on, right?
I
You see
see
it,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
Yikes. That's all I know is yikes. Yikes. I
Okay.
mean, this is the reason why. And now as you're talking, we're talking together a little bit on this, it's actually solidifying what I said last week, and
Let's
it's really
juxtapose.
driving home how I feel about the Flavians.
Let's
Because
parallel.
yeah, okay, come on. All right, I got it. There you go. Wow. We saw this at the top of the year too. But
Exactly.
because we were dealing with another topic, you knew this stuff. But it wasn't time because we were talking about something else. But
There's
yikes.
many things that I do not bring to the
I
table.
know, I know, I know, I know, I know. I know, I know, I know. Wow.
This is your Kai and Ro, and this is where we get the skull and crossbones from. This is the pirate symbol. This is this is the symbol of Rome. This is the this is the symbol of the Nicolaitans. These are the ones that hold us captive. These are the ones that
Oh,
have
Ronnie,
pirated.
look over here. Go, go, go,
Where
go
are you at?
to your right. Go to the right, and that's the one above. Right there. Look down below to the right. The very right hand corner. Look at that circle. The wheel up, up. Go to the
Oh,
one above. Now go to the right in that circle. Look at that.
yeah. So
Look at
that's
that.
that's Crestos. That no, I'm sorry. That is the Tau, and that's the
That's the
starogram.
Staros.
That's the starogram.
Mm.
That's the starogram.
So
That's the
it's not Staros. Did
staros.
I say it wrong?
No, staros
Okay.
is the
Okay.
pole.
Yeah.
This what pictogram is the
Mm-hmm.
starogram.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Just like the this is the crestogram. This is the crestogram. This is the crestogram, and then this is the crestogram with the Aleph Tau, or I'm sorry, with
Mm-mm-mm.
the Alpha Omega. Aleph
I'm
Tau is
putting
the
this
Hebrew.
up. I'm putting this up on Wednesday because the next day is the Sabbath, which would be their
Well,
Thursday
you can put it up on October 28th. In all honesty,
on the
because
Sabbath.
well, I'm saying because this he saw the sign in 312 of October 20, October 28th in the year 312.
Wow,
So and today, as
their
far as
calendar.
this pre-recording is
Right.
October 26th. So
Correct.
you can put this up on the 28th to be. to
Wow.
coincide, like today in history
Okay.
type of.
Today in history. Today in history.
But you see that
Constantine tells a big fat one.
I'm not reaching. This
You're
is the
not
skull and
reaching.
cross. Look, that's the head,
That's the head.
and
Yeah.
that's the
And
crossbones.
then again, look, of course you're not reaching. This is actually from Bing. You're not reaching. This is what they equated to. Skull and crossbones, and the Cairo. Look at that. They're the same. They're the same. It's Rome. All roads
It's all
lead to
wrong.
Rome.
It's all
All of
wrong.
it's all
It's all
Rome.
wrong. So this is your pirate. These are, that's the pirate
Symbol.
insignia, emblem, banner, standard, flag, symbol, whatever moniker you want to put on it. That's the pirates. That's pirates. And those were the ones that ruled the sea. That this I'm trying to tell you.
Wait a minute. Poseidon Sea?
No,
The Sea
no,
Sea. The
no.
sea.
Maritime law.
Maritime Law Sea.
Maritime law.
Maritime Law Sea. Gotcha, sea.
Maritime, yes, yeah, we have
Maritime
Poseidon Sea, but
Sea.
what this Poseidon
Poseidon
Sea,
Sea,
like as
but
far as ocean. But
right.
what I'm saying is the ones. This is maritime. That they are who. I mean, the pirates ruled the high seas. People on the high seas were scared when the pirates
When they
came
saw the
around.
cover. Wow.
These
Wow.
are the maritime lawyers, lawians.
Wow.
And where do we get maritime law from? Rome.
Rome.
Rome made a deal with the Rhodes.
Mm,
With the
mm,
Rhodes, Rhodes. Look them
mm,
up in
mm.
history. Rome made a deal with the Rhodes. Rome was the king of the land, and Rhodes were the king of the sea, and they made a pact and formulated maritime law. This happened 2,000 years ago. There's many things that I don't discuss on, but because it's not apropos, it's not the time, or it doesn't relate. But the Rhodes, they made a deal with the Rhodes. That's why waterways are called roads. For example, in Virginia, there's a waterway system called Hampton Roads. It's a waterway system. It's called Hampton Roads. Actually, the word roads, like, I live on such and such road, that is actually, the word comes from the civilization of the Rhodes, because they were the masters, the kings of the waterways. They were the rulers of the sea. Meanwhile, Rome was the rulers of the land, and Rome wanted to be the ruler of everything, so they cut a deal with them, and they formulated maritime law. Everything is intertwined. Everything is intertwined, and it all goes back to Rome. It all goes back to Rome. But the thing is, Rome borrowed it from the Greeks. The Greeks borrowed it from a more ancient culture. It all goes back to Babylon. That's why in Revelation it's called Mystery Babylon. Because when they envisioned it, when the prophets were envisioning the future, the civilization that they saw paralleled what they knew as Babylon. So they called it Mystery Babylon. And when the Assyrians annexed Babylon, Assyria is now Babylon. And then when when Egypt annexed all of it, then it became, Assyria and Babylon became Egypt, but they're all one and the same, because the land and the culture goes to the winner of the war, or the captor. And then when the Greeks annexed Egypt, they inherited Babylon, they inherited Assyria, they inherited Egypt. And then when Rome annexed, the Greek world, they inherited Babylon. It like that's how they're all the same thing.
Well, here I pulled up the history of Rhodes so that you guys can see
Oh
on your
wow,
own
yeah.
the
I'm not making
history.
this stuff up. I am not making this stuff
Mm-mm.
up.
So it
I do
goes
my
on
due
to.
diligence. That's how.
Mm-hmm. So this goes on to explain the history of Rhodes, and I'm going to put this in the description box for you guys. But it just discusses like the rest of Greece, the Rhode Islands are located between the crossroads of two major sea routes. But it goes all the way into the mythological period, which is what they call mythological, and I'm going to leave that there for today. But it talks about when the gods divided the earth between them, blah, blah, blah. That's their stuff, right? Then the classical period, then it goes to the Roman period, and then it has the Byzantine period, the Knights period, and then the Ottoman period. It talks about that entire region, which would lend validity, exclusive validity to the fact that they were over maritime, that they
read
handled.
the Roman period. Read the Roman
Oh,
period.
okay. Let me go back. I'm going to read just the Roman period from this side. I'm not even going to pull it back up again. Okay, very short. It says the independence of the. Oh, I guess maybe I could. Hold on. Let me come back on you guys. No, it's gone. Hold on. You hear all that clicking, folks? That's just for you. It's just for you. All right. So it says the. Can you see that? Yeah, it's pulling it up. The independence of the city came to an end in 164 BC when Rhodes became a province of the Roman Empire. But even as late as the 1st century AD, Rhodes developed into one of the greatest centers of learning, science, and arts.
Okay,
That's the
so
that's the
that's
place. That's the
right.
place. Okay? But who they are and where do they get their name from? Let's pull that up. Let's go get that for you. So that but you do see that they were, as he said, they were like one of the major cats, major players. The major players. Okay. Helios Cosmos Society. They've actually got an organization that is dedicated to them. Wow.
Well, we're going off. We're not
Well, we're
really
all.
off
Well, I mean,
topic.
this is how we are. This is our talk.
Yeah, yeah.
If we never shared
Look, man,
it, it's just our
it
talk.
it goes all over the place, but it always goes back to Rome. It always goes back to Rome.
Okay. Hold on.
So
What's the name?
it says it's located at the crossroads of two major sea routes of the Mediterranean and the Aegean,
Mm-hmm.
and the coast of the Middle East. So they were maritime peoples. They were coastland peoples.
Wait a minute.
Major sea routes, the roads.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, keep going. Constantine of Rhodes. There's another one. Wow. Born in 870. Wow. So this thing went a whole lot further than we think. It's amazing how that big ball of jewelry that I described a few months ago or a few weeks back is intertwined. This there is a Constantine of Rhodes and he's a poet.
Yeah, that's not this.
It's not the same, but the deal is Constantine and Rhodes together. Come on now. It's all intertwined. I know that's a little side
Well,
note, you guys.
well, I'm just saying, as far as like culture goes, you can see that they have shared a history together. If somebody's name from Rhodes is going to be Constantine, which is an emperor of Rome, so you can see how they have intertwined culturally throughout time. But what happened is Rhodes became a province, became a vassal state basically of Rome, and these people were the premier admirals of this is admiralty law in its infancy. This is admiralty what dominance at the premier at the beginning, and then Rome took advantage of their strength, conquered all the surrounding states, made them vassal states, made them subordinates of their empire, and took on all of the characteristics and traits of these cultures. And Rhodes was the premier, masters of the sea, if you will. And that's where Rome took took to sea and used the same insignia, and it became the skull and crossbones.
Mm.
You got to know. Okay, it's one thing to know history and to know
I'm still
different
listening. I'm
aspects of history. It's another thing to connect the dots
mm. Hmm.
and see the story and see the biblical narrative being played out. Or
South to southwest into the Asia Minor, where the Aegean Sea meets the Mediterranean capital. You're right. You said that. Of course, you're right.
well, I'm not gonna say, of course, I'm right, but do your due diligence to try to see if I'm wrong, because I'm gonna hit you with some information that is going to switch up your train of thought, or you're gonna tune me out. Something. There's gonna be some type of uh, push or pull when you encounter a conversation like this,
Well, here,
and
let me
it's gonna
let you
sway
see
you one way
this.
or another.
Not that you probably okay, but I'm in it now, so I got to bring it up. I see here. There's a lot of stuff that's dealing with road. How do you say it? Hylides,
Uh,
Hylides,
I don't know. It'd probably be the Hades, but
Hylides, and Road had two had sons. Passing here. We can edit this if need be, but it's still I think it's still something to be
no, this
seen.
raw and uncut, unadulterated. We gonna
Okay, we gonna show it. We gonna show it. We gonna show you what we do, how we do what we do. So okay, this is cool. Let me put it over
all
here.
right. Well,
We
you
gonna go
got you
in
have
this.
this ticker just as far as the history of roads.
What? Oh, I know it's driving you
It's like
bats,
an
right? It's
ad.
driving me
Yeah,
bats too.
it's
I'm
like
about
an
to put this
ad
up
for
here. I put
tourism.
Control V. All right, so now you should be able to see this. Rhodes is an island off the southwestern coast of Asia Minor. First inhabitants, it goes of Rhodes, were the Teletians. Is that how you say it? Wizards. They're wizards who discovered certain arts and were the first to fashion statues of gods. Zeus flooded some of them, while others immigrated or were expelled from Rhodes. This is my kind of stuff. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and finish talking, and I'm gonna read
Okay.
this on this side.
Well, let's look at
Look at me. This
this.
is my kind of stuff.
Well, let's just look at a header real quick. Let me just pull up a header for you. I'm gonna share on my end if that's okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
sure.
share
Come
on
on.
my end, and I'm going to show you a header to get you started.
Yeah. Go.
Um, the Rhodian, can you see this?
Gotcha.
The Rhodian Sea Law was based on the statute of the Digest of the Code of Justinian Law, who was a Roman emperor, commissioned in the 6th century. So we're talking about the 500s. And
All
on
right, but you gotta
maritime,
click it. You gotta click it. You gotta click it again.
are you not seeing me?
No, I see you, but I didn't see that part where you said Herodian, the Justinian law. I saw Justinian commissioned the
Yeah.
six.
Yeah, exactly. But
Oh, scroll it up.
that was
Scroll it
that.
up.
No, that was a side note. What I'm saying is that
Oh,
just the just
customary law. Okay, go. Sorry. Oops. Never mind. Go.
no, I gotta get back to it.
I'm like, go,
Okay, the
Ronnie.
Rhodian Sea Law was based
Okay.
on the statute of the Digest of the Code of Justinian the First, traditionally known as Justinian the Great, and also Saint Justinian the Great of the Eastern Orthodox Church, the Roman Emperor, the Roman
Mm,
Emperor, the Roman Emperor.
mm.
So this is commissioned in the 6th century because he was the Roman emperor in the 500s, and on maritime customary law originating on roads in ancient times. On maritime
Wow.
customary law originating on roads in ancient times. The
Wow.
regulations concentrated on the liability of the costs of lost or damaged cargo. and this is recorded in Byzantine law, and I'm pulling this up from Britannica. I'm pulling this up
Wow.
from
You could give
Britannica.
me that link too, so that way I could just put everything in the inside of the description so people can pull
Just
it.
put. How do I?
No, it's okay. Just do what I do. Sometimes what I do is I'll just copy the whole entire link and I'll have an email opened so that later on I could just copy it and then I stick it in the in my description. And that's a
No,
fun fact for everybody watching.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna give it to you backstage.
Okay, good. And then I'm gonna just copy it and send it to myself in an email, and then I'm gonna take it and put it in the actual notes.
All of that. All of that. Cool.
Ah, what's that on the screen? What's that on the
Hey,
screen? What you got on your screen?
well, that's all. What I'm getting at is the fact that the roads are the originators of maritime of the whole entire
Right, and Rome
admiralty,
couldn't beat them, and Rome couldn't beat
and
them.
so they just conquered their whole entire culture, made them a vassal state, and then uh, used all their methods, and buddy buddied with them, and like that's what Rome does. Rome usurps. Rome takes control and um,
And they
assimilates
wear
you.
little and they wear little yarmulkes in the Vatican and in that little thumb shaped place
They
underneath.
syncretize everything you have into one smorgasbord of Romanism, and then they call it their own. But these are the roads, the all maritime law. So
They
they
bite.
conquered the sea.
They never bite.
Exactly, they
It's
bite.
not polite.
And so what's going on here is they took the whole entire admiralty dominance that Rhodes established for themselves, and they took the insignia of the Constantinian cross that he saw at midday in the sky, that he uses as a symbol to and emblem to conquer, or in which to move forward and conquer. um, and it became the skull and crossbones of the pirates of the high seas. But it's the same exact, it is the same exact
The
insignia,
exact
symbol.
same. The exact same. Same exact. The
Exactly.
exact. Exactly.
Same.
Exactly. The same.
Samesies.
It's they're just like a onesie. It's the samey. It's onesie. It's it.
But they bite.
Okay,
Yeah,
enough
so
dead air. I was gonna say because we're coming up on an hour and 52 minutes, and even though we're like in our own zone,
yeah, but
we
that's because
are.
you like to go on all these side tangents, and
I
I'm trying to
know.
get you to
Okay,
see
I
this
tell you
one
what.
specific.
Okay,
I'm
go.
I'm
Get.
coming
Wait a
to.
minute. You did all of this for one specific thing.
Yeah.
Hour and 53.
No, no. I was trying to breeze on through some of this stuff. I was trying to breeze
Okay.
on through some of this
Okay.
stuff.
Well, float on, float on, float on. Breeze, breeze through, breeze, breeze. Okay, go.
Okay. So, I mean, if unless you don't want to know,
No, I
because
want to
I
know,
know.
but I just want to get. I just want to get at somebody for making all of this noise running through my house, playing these games, and they know I don't be playing these games. I want to tell some people, go to bed, take your shower.
Okay. Well, look. So, um, we see it? Do we see the connection
No, I
between the
see
skull and
it.
the crossbones and the Chi and the Rho,
And I see why I'm not
and
gonna
how
be
that's
dealing with that new
Crestos,
thing no more. Yeah, I ain't touching
and
that
how
new
that's
stuff no more.
Crestos, and how that's Christos, and how that's not Mashiach.
Right, and that's why I'm not fumbling with the Flavians,
Okay,
with Flavius Constantine. I'm not messing with none of that stuff no
let's
more.
put that taste back. Let's put that taste back in your
Yeah.
mouth one more time before we move forward.
Okay. Yeah. Let's
Share
do
that.
that. Let's do that because me, I am not messing with these things. I'm not doing it. I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. I ain't doing this right here. I'm not doing this right here. And then we're gonna have to dig into, you know, we just gotta lay it out there. I'm tired of tiptoeing through the tulips. Look here. We're gonna have to lay this thing down, plain and simple, because everybody needs to understand one thing, and that is that there were some cats, there were some characters who literally took advantage of the Hebrews, and on many, many fronts. And Constantine was one of them. There's a whole bunch of cats that decided, you know what, we don't like the way those Hebrews sort of stated themselves and how they sort of only want to go to follow their quote unquote God. We don't like all of that. So we got to figure out a way to get them on our side. And what they did is they started weaving this masterful quilt. And
Well,
after they
well,
put all these
well,
pieces together, this is what you get.
well. You talking
This.
about Constantine? This 300 years later.
I'm not talking about just Constantine. I'm talking
So
about the
so we're
whole
talking about,
lot of
as far
Rome.
as Constantine goes,
Rome
that's
as a whole.
300, that's 300 AD, what we call quote unquote 300 AD. So we're talking about, in actuality, like a 700-year period through the Hasmonean period. Okay, so from the quote
But
unquote
this
Old
stuck.
Testament, from the quote unquote Old Testament to the quote unquote New Testament, there is a dead air space of about 400 years. But there's really not a dead air
And I was
space.
about to say it's really not. Yeah.
That's what we call, that's what we call the apocryphal texts.
Right.
That all that interim, that's the
Mm-hmm.
Hasmonean era. That's when, the Maccabees came in. That's when the Herodians came in. So there's a whole other aspect that we don't ever consider. And if we do consider it, we consider it, we gloss over it as we consider it, because we're not really steeped in that understanding through Christianity. But there is a transference of power, and there and the Hasmonean through the Seleucid. I mean, this whole there's a certain area, there's a certain time frame, age that occurred. This 400-year gap between what Malachi and the Book of Matthew. There's like a 400-year gap. What happened? There's a lot of things that politically transpired. That historically, that culturally transpired to get us to the point where the Pharisees are now in charge. Um, and Herod, is a vassal king. Like, how did this happen to Rome, which by way of the Greeks? So how all this happened? This is behind the scenes, and we'll take a look at that at another time. But the Flavians were the dominant family. They were the prominent behind the scene political family that pulled a lot of strings. They're a
Correct.
dynasty. They're a dynasty.
Yes, they are. Yes,
They're
they
a
are.
dynasty. And they intricately, masterfully even
Yeah.
weaved, because they had such sway on the political scene, financially, through the Senate, you know what I mean, through all facets of society. They even got historians on board. Josephus is a historian. He's called the Flavian. He's Flavius Josephus.
Mm-hmm.
Are we really going to take a lot of his word? I'm not saying that he just lied all across the board,
Well,
but
he
what I'm
wasn't
saying is that
trustworthy by any stretch of the
if you're
imagination.
if you take on the name Flavius,
Yeah.
then you have to understand that we have to understand in retrospect, hindsight. We have to be able to see that there were a lot of puppets historically in play. It's just like we have a sense of history that we've read in the history books, and they are skewed. They are skewed, and we understand that they're skewed because of certain winners of wars. It's the same concept throughout history, and the Flavians undermined a lot of things, and they fabricated, they manipulated, they swayed, they there was a lot of bias going on. Uh, um, their undertones, you know what I mean? They're the manipulators behind the scenes, and we have plenty of them today. They were the players of today back then. The Flavians, the Flavians,
Hmm.
the Flavians, and They did have a lot of sway in every single aspect of society, including the religious aspect of society. Because
Tell it
why?
all, please.
No,
Tell
no,
it all.
seriously, because why? The root of all evil is the love of money. I can be bought. I can be bought. I can't be bought for $1 million, but I can be bought for 2 million. Or I can't be bought for $2 million, but I can be bought for 20 million. I mean, like there's a number to getting bought, and when your money's long, and Josephus was a quote unquote Jewish historian, but he's a Flavian,
They
huh?
used him. Yeah, he allowed
Huh?
himself to
How are
be
you a Flavian?
used.
How are you
Yeah,
how are you a Roman Flavian, but you are a Jew?
he
Same
allowed
thing.
himself. A Hebrew. A Jew.
Okay, well, I'm about to shake a lot of people's
Please
foundation right
shake it,
about
because
now.
I'm waiting.
It's about to
I'm waiting
hurt.
because now you in my park. My ballpark is
Okay,
dealing with
so
them.
so Constantine, his storyline is that he saw the Christos basically. He saw the symbol of the Christos in shining brightly midday in the sun, correct? And that made him turn to Christianity and turn the entire known ancient world to Christianity, correct?
Yes.
Okay, let's go to Acts 26. It's gonna hurt.
Okay. X.
Let me pull it up. Or
Oh yeah, I
oh,
forgot what's up with
yeah,
you. Yes.
yeah. I'm not
I
on my
know.
job.
Okay, come on, come on.
I'm not on my
I'm not.
JO.
You're not on your job. You're not on your
All right.
job. Okay, go. Let me
So
get back
so who
over
do
here
we
so I can
have?
become. Let me come back over here with you.
So understand what I just brought home. So you see, and what I said at the beginning is let's find some parallels to see what's what and to consider certain things and start to have a starting point of a start of a beginning of a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So all of this 2 hours and some change, maybe 3 hours now, I'm not sure, is to have the beginnings of a start of a beginning of a start of a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So um, we understand that the Flavians had sway and they were able to manipulate aspects of society, and we understand that the Roman um, empire used religion as a control tactic. So if you can control the narrative religiously, then you can control a large amount of the people group to a certain
Mm-hmm.
degree, you know,
Yes.
um, to a large degree. But if because once you get in somebody's brain, once you get in somebody's mind, you can start to twist little knobs and stuff like that. So what's happening here? So what did we talk about? Constantine saw a bright light at midday. Okay. So this is what I want to say.
I'm here.
So so Paul, so okay, for example, Josephus was a Jew, right? But he was a Flavian, so he was a Roman. And here we see Paul, same attributes. He calls himself a Roman, but he is a Pharisee. He is a Benjamite. He is a Jew of Jews, but he also calls himself a Roman. There's the only two people that I know in the history of Judaism that acknowledges another nation.
Mm. 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 Make it plain, please.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to make it that plain, but that's all I'm saying. You make the connection.
Please make it plain.
Um Okay, so Acts 26. Let's just start. Then Agrippa. So okay, so background information. He is on trial. Paul's on trial. He's before the king himself, and he's pleading his case before the king because he's on trial for leading the Jewish people astray with his teachings, with his gospel, with his battle cry. Okay. Verse 1, then Agrippa said unto Paul, thou art permitted to speak for thyself. Then Paul stretched forth his hand and answered himself, I think myself happy, King Agrippa, because I shall answer for myself this day before thee touching all the things whereof I am accused of the Jews. Excuse me. Excuse me. Verse 3, especially because I know thee to be an expert in all customs and questions which are among the Jews, wherefore I beseech thee to hear me patiently. My manner of my life from my youth, he's giving you a breakdown of who he is, which
Save my
was
skin.
at the first among mine own nation at Jerusalem, know all the Jews, which knew me from the beginning, if they would testify that after the most straightest sect of our religion, I lived a Pharisee. So he was a Pharisee, the straightest sect, like the most strict sect
Yeah.
of Judaism, the Pharisaic, branch,
He
if you
was a
will.
Pharisaic Pharisee.
Yeah, he was the Pharisee of Pharisees
Pharisee of the
out of
Pharisees.
his own mouth.
Down to the
So
anise.
verse 6, it says, and now I stand and I am judged for the hope and the promise made of God unto our fathers, unto which promise our 12 tribes, instantly serving God day and night, hope to come. For which hope's sake, King Agrippa, I am accustomed, I am accused of the Jews. Why should it be thought a thing incredible that with you, that God should raise the dead? I verily thought myself um, that I ought to do many things contrary to the name of Jesus of Nazareth, for which I also did in Jerusalem, and many of the saints did I shut up in prison, having received authority from the chief priests. And when they were put to death, I gave my voice against them, and I punished them oft in every synagogue, and compelled them to blaspheme. And being exceedingly mad against them, I persecuted them, even unto strange cities. So he went far and wide to persecute his own people.
The people, yeah, yeah.
Verse 12, whereupon, as I went to Damascus with authority and commission from the chief priests, at midday, O king. So on my way to Damascus, at midday, O king, I saw in the way a light from heaven, above the brightness of the sun, shining round about me and them which journeyed with me.
Wow.
Let me read verse 12 and 13
12
again.
and 13 again.
Whereupon as I went to Damascus with authority and commission from the chief priests, at midday, O king, I saw in the way a light from heaven, above the brightness of the sun, shining round about me and them which journeyed with me.
Wow.
I can go on, but let's just focus on.
Go on.
Let's just hone in on this very sentence right here. This is the same exact.
But you just said just keep going.
And when we were all fallen to the earth, I heard a voice speaking unto me and saying in the Hebrew tongue, Saul, Saul, why you persecute me? It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. And I said, who art thou, Lord? And he said, I am Jesus, whom thou persecutest. But rise and stand upon thy feet, for I have appeared unto thee for this purpose, to make thee a minister and a witness both of these things which thou have seen, and of things in which I will appear unto thee, delivering thee from the people and from the Gentiles, unto whom now I send thee, to open their eyes and turn them from the darkness to light, and from the power of Satan unto God, that they may receive forgiveness of sins and inheritance among them which are sanctified by faith that is in me. Whereupon, O King Agrippa, I was not disobedient unto the heavenly vision, but showed first unto them of Damascus, and then at Jerusalem, and throughout all the coasts of Judea, and then to the Gentiles, that they should repent and turn to God and do works meet for repentance, For these causes the Jews caught me in the temple and went about to kill me. Having therefore obtained help of God, I continue to this day, witnessing both the small and the great, saying none other than those saying none other things than those which the prophets and Moshe did say should come, that Christ should suffer, and that he should be the first that should rise from the dead, and should show light unto the people and to the Gentiles. And then we talk about Festus. But what I'm getting at, so he goes on into his whole defense. But what? But so this is
Constantine's account.
And he gives Constantine's account verbatim.
Then he gives Constantine's account.
This is the thing. Man. Constantine and Paul give the same account 300 years apart. It's because it's a design from the Flavius verbiage, from the Flavius dialect, if you will.
Yeah.
It's out of their playbook. Yeah. It's out of their playbook.
Absolutely out of their playbook.
Listen, when you go back, see what I didn't read because I was trying to breeze on through is when you read the Constantine account, the Constantinian account, it tells you that this is most likely a fabricated concept to get everybody on board, to let him know, to let us know that he converted to Christianity.
That's exactly what I saw when I first read that whole account. That's the main piece I took out of it when I read and dealt with the Flavians. When I read and I looked at the whole entire timeline, my thing was this was the only way they could convert the Hebrews to say, see, they will not bow at our statue. They will not do anything we say. They will only do what their Most High tells them to do. How can we get them? Let's take this cat. Let's have him insert us all throughout hell over here, and then we'll get him. And it's the same. Let me hush. Go ahead.
Now, let me read verse 12. They have it fresh on your mind. Let me read verse 13. Have it fresh on your mind, and then we're going to parallel it. Whereupon, verse 12 of Acts 26, whereupon as I went to Damascus with authority and commission from the chief priests at midday, I saw in the way a light from heaven above the brightness of the sun, shining round about me and them which journeyed with me. Okay, so let me go to this account, and please bear with me while I change screens.
Well, take your time. You're seeing and learning at the same time. Seeing what your sister be over here, clickety-clack, clickety-clack. Or as our friend, what's her name?
All right, share it.
Okay. She used to say double fisting.
Okay,
go.
So about that. So this is his account. About the time of the midday sun, when the day was just turning, he saw with his own eyes in the sky, resting over the sun. It's exactly what Paul just said. A cross-shaped trophy formed from light, and a text attached to it saying, by this you will conquer. Amazement at the spectacle seized both him and the whole company of soldiers which was accompanying him. That's the same exact thing that Paul said. The only thing that Paul didn't say is that he's going to conquer, but he did say that this is the word that he is going to go out and conquer. That's his gospel, which is a battle, which is he's conquering. Yeah. And he went to every nation and every tongue, basically, with and this is how he converted to Christianity. This is exactly how Constantine converted to Christianity. This is too heavy for some people to digest. This is why I wanted you to pre-record it, and then let's, and then maybe if the Spirit gave you some, a thrusting.
I'm publishing this exactly the way that it's coming out. You already know me right now.
I'm not saying anything. I'm putting the information. You ain't
gotta apologize about the truth. That was Acts what? That was chapter what? Acts.
That was Acts 26. That was Acts 26
verses 12-13 were the focus. That was the
right.
Focus.
But his entire account is literally a Flavian is out of a Flavian playbook.
Yeah.
which has to bring up some questions as to which one is fabricated. Is both of them fabricated? Why are they identical? Why are both of them turned from one aspect of non-believing to a Christian mindset
Yeah.
and a Christian worldview,
And
and
why
they
did
are moving
Constantine's
forward?
cat? Why did he say he never said nothing about this till a long time later?
It's this
Mm-hmm.
was written in this.
Yes.
Okay, I'm not
That's
going
what
to
I'm
say that.
saying.
I'm not
No,
going to
it's
say that.
but that's what I've been saying.
Oh, I
That's
know what
what
you've
I've
been
been saying.
saying. What
You
this,
know,
but this is what
they
I'm
wrote
telling
it
you.
in.
I've been
They
sitting on
wrote it
this
in.
information
They wrote
for
it in.
years,
They
actually.
wrote it in. They wrote
But
it
only
in.
until you started saying certain things, I was like, okay, you're ready to receive this information, because I don't, I'm not trying to throw steak at people and choke them. I want you to eat the
That one
steak
steak. Nope,
and
that, that right
it
there.
be
That
nourishing.
little tenderloin. That little tenderloin right there.
No, that was a massive steak. The
I mean, but
connection.
for
I'm
me,
talking
I
about
don't
the
think it
smoking
was.
gun.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
talking about
because
the
yeah,
smoking
the
gun.
smoking gun was that smoking gun was definitely
I'm not talking about your
110%.
suspicions,
No, I'm talking about the
and what you've
confirmation
uncovered.
was the smoking gun.
Exactly. I'm talking about the specific link and tie-in. And I could have just went there, but I wanted to build you an understanding of the entirety of this. And then, now we need to understand who the Flavians are. And I gave you a very brief and crude overview
Man, I
of
can
who.
go get my book on the Flavians because I've owned that for like what 2-3 years now. I can go get that and open that up
Well, this
and
is what I
just
wanted to
say,
show you. This is what I wanted
yeah,
to show you,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Felicia, is that
Bertha,
it
not
is
Bertha.
that whoa.
Trying to struggle over
Yeah.
my name. Okay, go. I'm sorry, I'm being silly. Go.
No, is verbatim the same story. This is a Flavian um um uh,
Story. Account.
dialogue. Okay, yeah, it's a Flavian dialogue. So who is Paul exactly? Because okay, so when you continue to read, he's telling the king, look, I've only kept it real and only have told everybody the same thing that Moses has been telling people. But we constantly see in Galatians, in Galatians, and in Corinthians and Romans, we see aspects that can be perceived as him swaying people
Away from the
away
law.
from keeping
The law.
code. So
That's
yeah,
right.
exactly, keeping kingdom code,
That's right.
keeping kingdom law.
Right.
um but he's telling, in front of the king, he's saying, nah, I've told him everything that Moses was saying.
Yeah.
So which one is it? Which one is it?
It's convenience. It's
and
straight up
then
convenience.
and then his out of his own mouth, at his trial, he says the same thing that Constantine says that he's going to conquer with. Look, even down to the accompanying of the people. When you go back to Acts 26, it says, and everybody that I was with saw the light. So this is what I'm saying. That light,
Mm-hmm.
that light that Constantine saw was the Chi Rho, keep you
That's
in
right.
bondage,
That's
the
right.
capital of the house of bondage.
That's right.
Saw the Chi Rho, and the Chi Rho is representative of the Christos, of the Christos, which in the Latin we get the Christos, which in the English is where we get the Christ, and we conflate that concept with the Hamashiach, the Messiah. We conflate that, and we're not conflating it because we're conflating it. We're conflating it because they gave it to us that way, so we can conflate the two. And that light that they saw that he saw in the sky was the Christos. In Acts 26, Paul himself says, he was like, who are you? And he said, I am Jesus Christ.
Mm.
So he
Mm.
saw, what he saw was the Christos too. What he saw was the Chi and the Rho as well. It, but both of these accounts are the same, and this is the only quote unquote prophet, if you will, He does. They don't call him a prophet, but it's one and the same. He's what they call an apostle, and
That's
that's
man-made.
yeah,
And it's then
exactly,
look here,
exactly.
and not only is it man-made, but that being apostle
But
lines
he's
exactly up with how Constantine
but he's the
you.
only one.
But look, how what did they say about Constantine having the oh and I'm sitting here like yikes while I'm trying to remember. But it was he was basically elected by the committee of one by unilaterally. Who made you a who? Nobody. That's why let me shut up because I've been saying this. I'm okay. I'm done. Just go. Yikes.
Paul is the only representative in the entire book, in the entirety of the books, of the collective of books that that professes another nation. Yes, I'm a Pharisee of Pharisees, but yes, I'm a Roman.
Right. Hey, guess what? I'm both. Duality. I
Why?
said it.
Either because he was bought and sold, and or this stuff didn't even exist and it was fabricated by the Flavians, or
I submit the Flavians.
a little bit of a mixture of this is a historical figure and then they injected their rhetoric into the playbook. But what I'm saying is you can tell verbatim actually that there's injections, there is Roman injections in the script. Literally, let me say it again, verbatim. The Roman emperor himself said these same words that Paul was saying 300 years before in the something ain't right here. I'm not throwing the accusation out. I'm showing the facts. Now let's start a conversation and let's get to the bottom of this and who you're going to believe. Prophet after prophet after prophet after prophet saying to obey Yah's word, or somebody with mixed with a double tongue that can be misconstrued or construed depending on how you look at it, is sometimes he's saying to keep the law, other times he's saying don't keep the law. He's teaching you to not keep the law, but he professes himself to keep the law. Why? Huh? That's he says I keep the law, but he's telling everybody else to not keep the law. And then he's telling you the reason why is because you're a Gentile. But we see in the script constantly, in the ancient text constantly, that the Gentiles and the native born are under the same law, are under one law. We see that over and over again. So all I'm saying is that what I'm posing is this a Flavian fabrication entirely? Is it a Flavian write-in? Is it a notice I'm saying Flavian over and over again though.
Yeah, because that's who's responsible for it. That is exactly who is and who was responsible for it.
I'm rocking the boat.
And it's going to be
I'm
rocked.
causing waves. I'm causing ripples.
Yahweh Shah said he came to do the same thing. He said, whoa, wait a minute. Y'all think I come here to bring some peace? No,
He said
no.
he comes to divide.
I come to divide. So divide it be.
He went into Galilee to get his people out of Galilee. Not to pacify you and tell you it's okay to be here in Galilee, but to come get you out of Galilee. Out of Gilgal, out of the circle, out of the cycle. What do they do in a seance? They stand in a circle.
They stand in a circle. Anytime they're doing any witchcraft or any types of um, uh, services that they do, it's always in a circle.
That's
That's
why
the reason why I stopped saying a circle, standing in circles.
that's
Don't
why
put them in
when we used to pray and hold hands in a circle, I stopped doing that a long time ago. And people thought that I was like arrogant for not holding hands and stuff. And I'm like, I don't even really want to be touching and agreeing with none of this. You know,
Yeah. No, I'm with you. And I don't care if people
I hope
get
I'm not
upset.
so transparent that I'm losing you.
People come to the truth. No, I think that everybody that is here and everybody that's supposed to be here, with the exception of that one person that may give us the thumbs down, but I don't care. It helps with the analytics. They're gonna understand and they're gonna know exactly what's good and what's up. Seriously, because this is part and parcel of why everybody is so confused. And again, people are willing to just leave this place um, specifically to defend this stuff. And it can't be. It has to be broken up. The only way to help everybody become free is to give them the truth. Now you go and study it on your own. You go and research it on your own. Like I said, I had this book a while back. I studied that. I read through that, and I was like, "Yo, wait a minute, something ain't right." And as I began to pick the pieces together, I never ever made the connection or put the I over the I, the little dot that Ronnie just did, until he just did it. And he's been knowing it, but the deal is, listen, what you gonna do with the information now that you got it? It's your choice. You do what you do. We told you. That's all I gotta say. Is this been told? Because here's my thing. I've been so disgusted with Rome that I have been trying to do everything I can lately to scream, let it go. And it's almost because it's in our fabric that it is difficult to let go. It's difficult to let go because even though we're in captivity, we cannot sometimes delineate between the two because we don't understand that there were literally two quote unquote saviors on those trees. And I'm taking it there because I need to give you that thought process in your mind. You need to see that in your mind, that there's always been a two. The parallels have always been there. And because we have been indoctrinated in one, we never stop to question. We never stop and ask the questions. Never. Nobody ever said, here's the thing. When we broke it down the other week, when Ronnie and we were doing a show, and we mentioned, he talked about Jeremiah 31. How many of you really knew that Jeremiah 31 was the talk of the new covenant, or did we just gloss over that passage until we went back and we saw, whoa, wait a minute. He says, with which your fathers, they did break. Now I'm going to write it on your hearts. Why? Because they broke the last one and that didn't work for them. So here, and if you're mine, this is how we're going to know, this is how everybody going to know you're mine, because it's inside of you. I know who you are. It's not just something that you guys can just walk past and keep going. So that was there. But then over here, what you got over here with the Flavians, where they inserted themselves, read up on the Flavians. It's a daddy and two sons. For the most part. It's a father with two sons. You let that sink in. And every single place you can think of, they took the truth and inserted themselves in it. And so many people want to ask the question, well, how do we get Matthew from so far off? Why was Mark not even a part of the party? And yet Mark wrote it. It's a gospel according to Mark, and he wasn't even a part of the party. Why did all these different cats write these things? And they were according to these people. It was never something they said, hey, we were sitting down and this and that happened. The only cat that I can find that sat down and said, this is what he said, is Thomas. It's Thomas. That is the only cat that I have read that said, and then Yahushua said this, and then he said this, and then he said that. And to be honest with you, you know how true it is because of the detail that he tells what he says. The way that it was like somebody writing that was really right there, really heard him, and really just put it down. And it's so full and it's so vivid when you see the account that he had. When you read the accounts that he had, you know this is somebody who knew him. Not somebody who had an account of the last cat. So this account from Matthew is going to be the same account as Mark, and the same account as Luke, and the same account as John. And they're all going to have the same account. They're going to be different a little bit because, of course, it was somebody else's interpretation of what they saw. And anytime you have 4 or 5 people seeing the same thing, somebody's going to see something a little bit different, one detail the other cat didn't see. But there's something about the account of Thomas that it begs to question, how could they not see the fullness of the descriptions that Thomas uses? How could anyone, because they were not there. And that's all I'm going to say on that. Ronnie, we've been together for about 2 hours and 29 minutes and about 15 seconds. And I know we can come back and finish this up tomorrow, and then just going ahead and publish it all at the same time, or publish part one, part two. But I really feel like this is some information that if you guys ain't getting this right here, I
It rocks the boat, and if you're understanding what is being said, it it makes you consider, okay, so what now? I mean, like, what? So what are you saying? I mean, there's a lot of question. There's more questions than answers in this in this understand in this uncovering of information. But let's seek this thing out together, and let's do the right thing according to what Yah would have us do, so we can be in accordance with his will, so we can obtain the kingdom. That is the ultimate goal. Is getting into the kingdom.
And if that's the ultimate goal, you need to understand one important thing is that people will always say, you got to understand something. What I've always asked, why would someone say that the law is a bad thing? Why is not, why is keeping your father's day, the Sabbath, Yahweh's Sabbath? What's the problem with that? What is the problem with not coveting your neighbor's, spouse or their belongings? What's the problem with not killing? What is the problem? So when you remove yourself from that, then that means you are going to do the opposite. But no, you want to lean on what is called, quote unquote, grace, as if it is a shield against doing what's right. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like we've literally bought one thing, exchanged in truth. You took a pure diamond and gold ring, and you exchanged it for aluminum foil and a pop top. And you're saying, see, it's new. This is the new one. That was okay, but it was old, and it was the old. And this is what you're choosing over the truth. Listen, folks, this is important. I love everybody, and I'm glad we're all here getting this together. But do you really think that your enemy would change all of the beliefs that you're supposed to have and then give it back to you the way that it was? No, they're going to switch it up to be convenient for them. And if you understand that this all started long before the garden, you will know how they knew you would be here. Not you specifically, but the group of the you that are. They had to get ahead of the game. And so you hear a few of us saying stuff like, I truly think that they're trying to rush this. Who are they? They are them that I'm talking about. They are them. They got ahead of the game for such a time as this. So we have to grasp onto these truths, and we have to ask the hard questions. Like we said, you don't want the law, but yet who's without the law? We said the lawless one. We've already explored Jeremiah 31. What is the new covenant? And then we go on over here to the New Testament the other day, the quote-unquote New Testament the other day. We all did it together. And we looked up what the New Testament was, but it was a quote from Jeremiah 31.
Or the new covenant.
The new covenant. The cat was quoting the new. And see how they do it is they give it to you and they flip in the script. See, it's new. Nuevo. It's new. It's new. It's new. Did I tell you it was new? It's new. This ain't new. This wrong. So then you got two to choose. You got two. Look at it because it's two. Look at it. You got the real deal, and then you got this other thing, why call me good? They're toying with you because they're giving you true accounts. That's
Correct.
the trip. They're toying with you. They're making... go ahead, Ronnie, and we'll close out.
No, close. I mean, and there it is. And there it is.
And there it is.
What are we gonna do moving forward? And then let's find people that are trying to seek Yah's face and trying to be pleasing unto Yah, and let's do this thing together. Let's walk this thing out, because it is a narrow road and many are called, few are chosen. Um, there's going to be so many more people um, that are going to stay and remain lost than
Yeah.
there are people that are going to find this way,
But
that are
it's
going to find
exciting
the
at the
way.
same time. But it's exciting at the same time because as it's being revealed, bit by bit and piece by piece, it's really really exciting because it lets you know those who did run out to church, the church, those who did attempt to depart Rome, that you're on the right track. That's what this should show you. That's what this should show you. It should show you that you are on the right track. You don't look back, you keep going. So thank you so much, Ronnie. I want to remind everybody what we always say here on this channel: that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High Yah. You guys take care of yourselves and take care of one another. Until we see each other again, please continue to be blessed. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.